Sox, Patriots, Revs, and Celtics.
Come on, Max, step back. Three is good.
Boston's home for sports is 98.5, the Sports Hub, a Beasley Media Group station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Alex Bregman's home run in the fifth inning, the difference. Red Sox beat the Dodgers yesterday 4-3. Boston takes 2 out of 3 in that series. Sox closer Aroldis Chapman came on in the eighth inning, didn't finish the game, said afterwards he was dealing with back spasms. Sox will hit the road for a 3-game series against the Twins starting tonight. Richard Fitz on the mound. First pitch at 7:40 Eastern Time. Yankees placed Aaron Judge on the 10-day injured list with a flexor strain in his right elbow. The team says he won't throw for the next 10 to 14 days and will be limited to DHing once he comes off the IL. Royals are reportedly finalizing a 2-year contract extension for pitcher Seth Lugo, potentially taking him off the market before Thursday's trade deadline. After an off day yesterday, Patriots players back for what's expected to be the first padded practice of training camp today. Gates open at 9:30, practice at 10:30 outside of Gillette Stadium. Commanders receiver Terry McLaurin arrived at training camp on Sunday, still without a new contract. He's on the PUP list with an ankle injury and owes $200,000 in fines for reporting 4 days late. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Catches Law. At Catches, they specialize in helping those who have been injured, not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Sound like you? Visit catcheslaw.com. I'm Ryan Johnston on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. More headlines in around 30 minutes.
Get the app.
There's the potential there for big stuff.
98.5 The Sports Hub app. Get the app.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
They love the show. In fact, they said, Fred, you're the best.
and Hardy
Who's Taylor the originator?
on 98.5.
Hello. Hey there.
Aloha.
Bonjour.
How we do it.
What? I'm an animal.
Can we use this for the radio? No, Nick, with your drinking at noon on Monday.
Well, I'll tell her the truth. I miss Booty.
That problem is too large for the Sarge.
You know how I feel about clowns on morning shows?
I'm just saying, hello.
Toucher and Hardy.
Watch Daddy and Uncle Freddie.
Knocking back
25 glasses of soda.
having some fun.
On 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go. Everybody, good morning. We are Toucher and Hardy, Town Fair Tire Studios, 617-779-0985. You can watch us on YouTube as you subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. It's a very exciting day. Ryan Johnston is here. Hardy is taking a day off. Which, if he's not out of town, this is his 6th day off that he did not go out of town, which I have to applaud.
Is that right? That's right. He had a staycation for a full week. Good
Yeah,
point.
the 4th of July, he was out just sitting around here. And then he's out today.
Interesting.
It is interesting.
Interesting. I'd rather go to New Jersey than a staycation.
I think I'd rather go to New Jersey. Well, it's your in-laws.
I'm from New Jersey, and I wouldn't rather go to New Jersey.
Ocean City, New Jersey? Oh, it's beautiful
One
there.
of the paradises
It
of the
is. It is.
Yeah, just everything there is tainted with in-law crap. So I couldn't. Maybe Ryan is right. I would rather stay here.
world. Jersey Shore, everything's tainted in actual crap, too.
No,
That's true.
not there. It's crystal clear.
Right.
It's beautiful.
Well, he
Doesn't have that brownish gray tint to the ocean.
The ocean in Ocean City, New Jersey is 74 degrees. The ocean I grew up going to in Ogunquit, Maine is 54 degrees. I will take Ocean City, New Jersey.
Warm pollution is still pollution.
No, I was up in Maine a couple weekends ago. Just seaweed everywhere. It was gross. And you go to New Jersey, it's warm. You can actually swim in there and want to stay in the water. It's not bad.
All right. So, but you don't go to Margate.
No, I go to a place about 10, 20 minutes south of there.
So you know the complexities of the Jersey Shore, Ryan, because do you know the complexities of the Jersey Shore?
I'm familiar. Sure.
All right. So John, growing up going to Camp Young Judea, this is another example of him turning his back on his religion, because Margate is where I used to have to go to the Jersey Shore with my in-laws, because Margate is sort of like a Jewish enclave.
It is.
On the
He's
Jersey
right.
Shore. No, I am right. I mean, it's and people go, "What are you talking about?" No, I mean, it is. That's what it is. And John has eschewed Margate for the Goyam located just 10 to 15 minutes away. Is that not correct?
Catholic Central. Yeah.
All right.
Ocean City.
Have you? None of neither of your parents have said anything to you
No.
about this,
No.
because you're familiar. Are you familiar with Cherry Hill, New Jersey, Ryan? Were you North Jersey or South
I'm
Jersey?
South Jersey.
South Jersey.
I lived like 15 minutes away from Cherry Hill.
All right, so my ex-wife grew up in Cherry Hill, and that in itself is a Jewish enclave. But it's a fairly, I believe it's fairly wealthy. At least where they were was fairly wealthy, and it's not like insane, but it was fairly wealthy.
It's an upper middle class suburb.
Right,
yeah.
where he ended up moving by Villanova is insanely upper class.
That's crazy.
That's mansions.
That's nuts. Yeah, big house.
Yeah, that's mansions. But she grew up in Cherry Hill, and most of those people in Cherry Hill, if they had a vacation home locally, relatively locally, was Margate. This is all around Atlantic City, which is what's kind of funny about it. It's all surrounding Atlantic City.
Such a pit. Atlantic City's like the worst now. It's terrible.
And now they have an airport.
Yeah,
which is is a huge tease, because the airport has like, real airlines flying, and it's not a private plane. It's not like the one around here where John flies out of and Ryan probably flies out of.
Yep.
Because they both have done play-by-play. It is it is like with real planes, but you can't fly in there. There's never a flight that goes in there. As hard as you try.
There used to be a flight from Boston to Atlantic City that they discontinued after COVID. And now to get to Atlantic City, if you want to, it's a flight to Philadelphia and then a train, which is awful. So.
All right. So there was this article. It's funny because after COVID, so there was this article. It might have been in the New York Times. It might have been the Boston Globe, but it was about Delta, the Crown Rooms. What are they? I still call them Crown Rooms, but they're Sky Lounges or whatever the hell they're called. And you guys wouldn't know because John and Ryan fly private when they are flying with their team, so they don't know of these Sky Lounges. But apparently, Delta is opening up like an even like better lounge, because what's happening is that at these Sky Lounges, people are not being able to get in because they say there's this proliferation of people that are getting the credit cards. They have enough money to get the credit card, the American Express card that gets you in the Sky Lounge. They have enough money to be like on a certain tier of Delta that gets you into a Sky Lounge. And they're saying that there is frustration because now if your net worth is between $1 and $5 million, you are in such a group of people now that there is no exceeding that there's too many people within that amount of money.
They let the
This is what the article. Well, this is what the article says. It says if you're your net worth is between $1 and $5 million, you believe that you should be living a certain lifestyle because you can fly all. I mean, I would imagine if you're worth $1 to $5 million, you can fly pretty comfortably. Like, you can take a few plane rides a year for travel, for business or leisure. And they're saying that there's so many people that qualify for this that they're going to have to do something even more. Now, my status on Delta is not anywhere related to my net worth. It is a shrewd manipulation of credit cards.
You just hammered that one card until you got the points you needed?
Well, I have three. I have three credit cards because of mistakes I've made. So I got when I was first got like a morning show, I got a platinum card based solely on why every dumbass gets a platinum card, so I would look cool. I'm still not married. So I got the platinum card, like, so if I took girls out, I would have a platinum. It was the stupidest thing. And I didn't have any money, but I got a platinum card so I could do that. But that used to get you into the lounges. So then I was seeing people acquire this status, and I wanted the status because I wanted into the Sky Lounges, and I wanted to get the upgrades, and I wanted everything else. So I was told you got to get a Delta, like, a Delta credit card, obviously. So I said, all right, I'll get a Delta credit card. So they had some Delta Platinum credit card. So I got that. And then I found out, well, that's not the one you really need to get. You need to get the Delta Sky Miles or whatever the hell purple one it is.
Yeah.
So I got that. So I'm probably paying $1,500 in fees a year to get because I got the wrong card.
But look at the luxury you've afforded yourself in every airport you go
Well,
to.
now I can't. Well, it's I mean, the lounges or whatever. The lounges aren't even that great. That's not the point. The point is that they have the dedicated line when you're Diamond
That's
Medallion.
very important.
Which I am.
it's very
And if
important.
you see my dating profile, there is my status is on there. And then people go, well, why'd you do that? And I said, because every broad says that she wants to travel. Well, look, I have evidence that I can travel. And so, and they go, well, that's gauche or whatever. And I'll be like, look, I'm ugly. I don't know what you want me to do. It's something I can put on there. But now, because there's that dedicated line, and I don't have I don't have any kind of way to get certain places without switching planes or when there's weather or stuff like that. So that dedicated line has saved me days of travel because I can get on the dedicated line in a chat on the plane if I know I'm going to be late getting into the connecting city.
If you call that dedicated line, someone always picks up immediately. Is there ever a wait on the dedicated line?
If there's a late, it's like there's been a wait one time and it was like a minute.
Jeez.
And so yes, that is out of everything that it gets you, which is not much.
That is worth its weight in whatever currency.
And then once you have it, like you can't not have it.
Yeah.
Like I can't go now and not have it. So it's a race. It's $quarter. So what it is that, but it's not like if you spend $1,000 on your credit card, you get 1,000 mile quarter. I don't know what the math is on it. Like every day I'll get like $25 put towards this goal, which is if you get there. Now, your airline trips, it's some percentage of what you paid for your ticket goes to this mile per quarter dollars or something like that. But it's a race to the finish line right now.
When was the last time you flew an airline other than Delta?
Oh, I don't remember.
I'm just saying, obviously, you've put a lot into this. You've got the status for it. You got the dedicated line. You got the lounge. Now the riffraff apparently has been let in along with you into the lounge. Will you qualify for the new lounge?
Well, the riffraff is let into the lounge.
Well,
I would have to
qualify for the
imagine
new
I
one.
would. And again, this isn't based on my net worth, but I would certainly not based on my net worth. But I would imagine they'd have to let me in. Because the only status beyond Diamond is something that I don't know anyone who has, but I've only heard rumors of it.
What's it called?
I don't know. But if you get it, like I know some comedians have it, and they've told me because they travel by plane everywhere. So they're flying,
Right.
They're flying 50 times a year, round trip 50 times a year. And they get you and they get you. You don't even have a lounge. They get you and like take you to the plane.
Jeez.
So like you're always in first class and you get to the airport and they come and get you and you don't go to like the gate. They come and they just take you to the airplane.
Jeez. Like out on the tarmac and around or?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So like you get to the airport and like a Delta representative meets you. And they walk you through like your own security, and they take you around to the airplane. Now, this, two comedians have told me that they've had this, but I don't know if it's even true. I think I Googled it one time, and there was something, but I don't know what it's called. But it's something else. That's something I don't travel enough, and it's not even something I'd necessarily want because. Especially at Logan. See, people that bitch about Logan, I'm like, you've never been to another airport. Logan never, ever, ever is bad. Like, Atlanta is bad. Orlando can be bad. You can wait in line for TSA.
O'Hare, atrocious.
Well, coming up, because I just looked at my Delta app. Coming up in 25 days, I'm checking into a flight to go to O'Hare with my son. Where we get in on a Saturday, we spend the night at O'Hare Airport, like at a hotel.
Okay.
I rent a car. We drive an hour Sunday morning, out an hour, he does this baseball thing. We drive back to O'Hare that night and fly out, which seems like an absolute nightmare.
Getting to O'Hare, transferring planes at O'Hare is a disaster 80% of the time. I understand it's a very busy airport, but there has to be a way to streamline it. It's a terrible airport.
Well, the same as Charlotte. If you get in there, everything's far away, and for some reason, Charlotte is a hub. But yes,
Philadelphia is bad too. It rains and everything's delayed a half an hour.
Well, you know why Philadelphia is bad?
It's in the landing path for LaGuardia and Newark.
Yes, it's Boston, LaGuardia, Newark. All those airlines are you go over it. It's a lot of air traffic, but you have to get to 28,000 mile MQTDs.
Okay,
whatever that means, and you have to get there by the end of the year. So it's a race.
And what are you at?
Right now, I'm at $21,000.
And how many do you get for flying to Chicago? Just so we can ballpark this.
I can. Well, no, I have 820 MQDs pending.
Okay.
Because of flights, the Chicago into. See, I have $820, and I'm going to Chicago round trip and Knoxville round trip, but that's only 820 mile quarter dollars because my kids don't count for that.
Oh. Even though you spend money on their tickets, your kids don't count for it?
They do not count for it.
That's terrible. I mean, no, you're never going to reach that goal, ever.
Well, I did last year.
Oh, did you? All right. I'm just saying, if they don't count all of the money you spend on tickets, if they only count the money you spend on yourself, that's
no,
ridiculous.
But they also count stuff on your credit card. I don't know exactly how it works, but nonetheless, it's something. It's something.
All right. I've never qualified for anything. I have the credit cards.
Yeah, well, that's because you're a 9 to 5 or nickel and dime.
Apparently.
Like yesterday, my Delta Amex Platinum got me $1 in mile.
Let's hear it. Congratulations.
Yes, and I don't even use that card, so I don't even know how that happened.
How often you well, obviously this summer's a little different. You're traveling a lot this summer.
No, I travel. No, that's the thing is that I have these that I thought because I was divorced that I'd have all this vacation time. And I don't. I don't have really anything. So you get these days off. Hardy gets these days off. Because I took each of my kids on a different spring break. That's a week there and a week there. Mm-hmm. Then I had to go to Alabama and I had to go to Florida. And those are the other times. And then with Christmas, that's it. I'm going to Knoxville from Wednesday through Labor Day. And it sucks. And so my back is tightening up, and I realized I'm like, everyone's going to like Martha's Vineyard in the Cape, in Newport, and everywhere else. Everyone's going to all these places. And I have not, all summer, I don't get one place I want to be.
You get the reward of being a fantastic father, Fred. Taking your children everywhere. You went somewhere tropical with Zoe, did you not?
Central Florida?
No.
I went to, I took her to Atlantis.
Yeah.
That was the only place I've been that was like water, even a vacation place. Because I took Milo to spring training, and that's just driving around going to the games.
That's fair. Fair enough.
And then the other stuff is going to Hoover, Alabama, or going to Central Florida. There has been no. I haven't had any relaxing time off. It's all been renting a car and having to drive everywhere.
And Christmas is going to be spent where?
In Tennessee.
Okay.
In Tennessee.
All right. With everybody. With
well, what happens is that I take my kids down, and then my ex-wife comes for like a few days there around Christmas.
Sure.
So I got to keep things copacetic with that. So because if not, then I would hate to have to split up Christmas. So this is what we do.
Makes sense.
Right.
Makes sense. But the joy of being a fantastic dad, you live in the Dan Roach lifestyle, going from ballpark to ballpark, showcases.
They should really give you the week between Christmas and New Year's off. They really should. Because because what are you going to do? Come back to work? So they almost back you into a corner that you got to take that time off.
Yep.
Because you're going to have, unless you spend Christmas here, if you go anywhere for Christmas, then what are you going to do? You're going to just come back that week? It's not really rated.
Yeah.
It's just holiday book.
Yeah.
Rick, before when I was, our program director, one time gave me some days because I had been out. The year with my throat, he gave me some days.
I think
he was like,
you need a rest.
well, no, he gave me days because I was underwater with all those days, and I hadn't
Yes.
made, and I hadn't. So that was very nice of him.
Yes.
Because I was going to have to come back and start coming in. All right. Well, look.
So you are taking the week of Christmas off.
I'm
for
taking
vacation.
I'm taking the week before Christmas and the week after Christmas because Christmas is like on a Wednesday. So it's like, what are you going to do?
Yep.
So I don't want to have my kids. I don't want to fly them out on Christmas Eve because the only time it's fun being in Tennessee is before Christmas. After Christmas, it's a slog, but I don't want to come back to work for those couple days. So you know how it is.
Yes.
I got John. He saves all his vacation days so he can sit at home.
Hey. I was in the Dominican last Christmas. Come on now.
Right, but this year you're probably taking 2 weeks and staying here. Am I right or am I wrong?
I haven't decided about Christmas yet. So maybe I should get on that.
Oh, John.
I'm going to take that last week off, but I don't know where we're going to wind up going.
Oh, John. You're setting yourself up to fail. All right. We will do what happened last night. I was at that Red Sox game yesterday.
We'll start with that.
I was at the game, which was a Los Angeles Dodgers home game. I don't know if it translated, if either of you saw it on TV.
I saw 2 of the 3 games on TV, and it translated very well.
Yeah,
it was, 40% Dodger fans?
Yesterday was 40% Dodger fans.
Yeah, there were
and they were
Dodgers
chanting,
fans.
and it was
booing Alex Bregman in his home ballpark. It was really something.
It was really something. Really, really something. All right. And then there was I'll talk about it, but there was one guy who was trying to make up for the one Boston fan that was trying to make up for all the Dodger fans.
That's a lot of fun.
So it was a whole thing. All right. We'll be back in just a moment. Kind of looks like a poodle. It's an effing poodle, dumbass.
The Sports Hub.
Did you catch a game last night?
98.5 The Sports Hub. We're Toucher and Hardy. John is doing What Happened Last Night. It's brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lepresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. Yesterday, the game was delayed. They don't give you any information when the game is delayed, so I contacted Roach and John because I figured John was at home, sadly watching it. And then I figured Roach was at the park. John was helpful, but it wasn't completely accurate. He was just going by what TV said. Roach knew.
Well, he
said,
was there, right?
Well, Roach has access to meteorologists.
Exactly.
That's a good point.
That's right. And so he said, well, I don't know why they delayed the game. I mean, it was drizzling and then it just stopped raining. I guess they didn't want to pull the tarp off or something. But anyway, it was delayed like 45 minutes. So I didn't. And the worst is once you get into the park, you obviously can't leave. So once you're in there, you're at their mercy, and and if your seats are not covered, you're just out there, fending for yourself.
I take it you were next to the dugout at some point?
I didn't go into the stadium. I waited until I knew what time it was to go into the stadium. Yeah, I didn't go the park. I waited to get into the park until I was comfortable with what time, until they had announced the time.
Where were your seats once you got in there?
Around the visitors' dugout.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's where you go. I was surrounded by people from L.A., which I thought was interesting, that people flew in from L.A. They had worked their vacation plans so they could go cross-country to see the Dodgers play, but there were. Where I was sitting was almost entirely Dodger fans.
That's got to be the biggest visiting contingent of the season, by far. By far.
I don't know. Every game that I go, if you sit around the visitors' dugout now, almost every team that's in town, it's unless it's like the Yankees, but like Toronto. When I saw Toronto last year, it was all Toronto fans. I've been to 4 games this year. This is the first one, I think, by the visitors' dugout, so I can't really say. But the visitors' dugout was a sea of blue. That's what I will say. All right, John, what happened? Everyone's talking about it.
We're at a key point of the season for the Red Sox. They're hanging on to a playoff spot. Trade deadline comes up on Thursday, and yesterday, as you know, they went for a series win over the Dodgers as the two teams wrapped up a 3-game series. Sox took the early lead on a Trevor Story sacrifice fly in the bottom of the first inning, but L.A. came back after the expected speed bump for Walker Buehler.
Golf to right center field. Headed back there. It's got a chance. Conforto to the deepest part of the yard. Dodgers take the lead as Conforto sends one to the seats. 2-1.
That gave the Dodgers the lead in the fourth.
He made a terrible error, Conforto, in the first inning. I couldn't see what happened, but it was a lazy fly ball / pop-up. And I didn't see how he could miss it because it was out of my line of sight.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, that's the end of the inning. And then it was like, oh, no. Okay.
Okay. Did you see Jaron Duran at first base?
I saw him not run.
Yes.
Yeah. I saw him end up on second
Yep.
with the error. Yes,
Should have
I did.
been at third. It wound up not mattering at all. But honestly, because there were 2 outs and you wouldn't have scored anyway because the next guy made out and that was the end of the inning. But that's just the typical Red Sox nonsense every game.
I don't understand why you wouldn't run with 2 outs. I don't know what it is to you that are you afraid of getting hurt by running?
No, he forgot how many outs there were.
Yeah, there's a guy standing next to him at first.
No.
His sole job is to tell him that.
You're
and then
facing the left field scoreboard.
Now,
you should, in theory, see those lights light up.
I don't want to brag because most people probably don't have this kind of insight, but being by the visitors' dugout, you can see the third base coach. Now, you don't have access to this on TV, but he's clearly holding on both hands the number of outs. He does that. Almost before every pitch, he will show the amount of outs on his fingers. Because are those guys, I don't think it's like Little League where those guys are like doing crazy signs and stuff. Who knows? But I don't know where the signs come from. But they are told the outs. So Jaron Duran not knowing the outs, I don't know if I believe that. I believe that it was more, I'm not going to run. I don't want to run. But go ahead.
All right. So Mookie Betts' RBI single made it 3-1. Buehler able to reel things in after that, kept the deficit there until he finally left the game with 2 outs in the 5th after throwing 100 pitches. The Sox came back, though. Roman Anthony tripled off the left field wall to make it 3-2, and then Alex Bregman handed the Sox the lead.
Alex Bregman, infield in, 1 down, a man at third. And swing and a drive, out to left, back, she's gone! Yes, you've got to love his swing at Fenway.
Dave O'Brien has turned into a cheerleader at this point in the season. This isn't the first time, but he was saying at the end of the game, that's a strike, even before the umpire would call it. I don't know why he's doing this at this point in the season, whether there's a directive for him to pump up the Sox or not. But he's got a lot of national experience. He's been the Sox TV broadcaster for a long time. I don't understand why the cheerleading.
Well, he's excited to have baseball that matters as it's almost August.
Maybe that's it.
Well, he spazzed out about when they lost because of the catcher's interference. So,
yes.
I mean, he's really, really excited about the game.
It more so than he has been in the last decade, and that includes World Series runs.
Yeah,
I don't understand that.
It seems a little disingenuous, his excitement, because it's not even being a homer. Because, like I said, like they lost the game due to catcher's interference. He's like, "Wow, baseball's the greatest." Like what? How is that the greatest? Nothing happened. It was the catcher crossed home. I mean, it wasn't. If it was a steal of home, then you'd be like, "Oh, okay." All right, go ahead.
Sox up 4-3 after Bregman's hit, and the score was the same heading to the 8th inning. Aroldis Chapman came on in the 8th to face the top of the order, but after walking back-to-back hitters and getting Shohei Ohtani to fly out, he had to leave the game with an injury. We'll have more on that in a second. But out of the bullpen to save the day wasn't Garrett Whitlock, Fred. Who was it?
It was Jordan Hicks.
Jordan Hicks comes in to face Teoscar Hernandez with the tying and lead runs on base and 1 out.
Line drive, caught, maybe a double play, dives, safe. St. looking to the Red Sox dugout for a possible review here. We've yet to get the official word, but the Red Sox are marching off the field.
So are the Dodgers running base runners. What a play. Wow.
After review, the call on the field is overturned. The runner's out. Boston retains the count.
Double play.
All right, so Don Raphael, a very nice defensive play at second base to end the inning, and then Hicks had the tying run on second and 2 outs in the 9th.
Ground ball to third. Bregman with the dig. And got him, and the Red Sox win it. A big-time answer to that road trip.
So Red Sox win 4-3. They take 2 out of 3 from L.A. They go 4-5 on their 9-game gauntlet. They're a half a game ahead of Texas for the final wild card spot in the American League with 3 games left until the trade deadline. There was some concern afterwards for Aroldis Chapman. He told the media after the game through a translator it was just a spasm and it should be gone in a couple of days. The Sox will play games tonight, tomorrow night, and Wednesday afternoon in Minnesota. They have trade deadline day off. But there was a report after the game that surfaced that said, some of the fans saw Aroldis Chapman throwing up in the bullpen before the game. And Ryan, you had a good point, and this has happened to me too. You threw up so hard you wrecked your back, and
his back seized up. If he was puking in the bullpen, his back seized up on him. He won't walk right for 2 weeks.
That literally happened to me in my 20s, and
it happened to me not that long ago.
Oh, okay.
Well, John's a big partier.
Getting
Ryan.
old's a bitch.
No. John's constantly,
right.
He's constantly throwing up and then having to shoot again and the whole thing.
It was terrible. You ever have that happen to you, Fred?
Of course. Yeah, like the day after you've been sick, like your back feels like you've been in a car accident. Yeah, I've definitely had that.
And I literally woke up in the middle of the night, got sick, and felt something like snap in my back.
Yep.
And went back to bed, woke up a few hours later, and could barely get out of bed. I couldn't move without excruciating pain.
That's what sucks is when your back seizes up and you can't, and it's like you can't move.
Yep.
That's that like paralysis, and you don't know what the hell is going to happen and how it's ever going to get better.
I was walking like I was 90 years old.
Yeah.
It's like just kind of shuffling my feet along the ground.
Yeah, I was watching The Osbournes. The Osbournes now is on Amazon. So I was watching with my daughter last night a little bit of The Osbournes. And Ozzy was 52 when they started that show.
Jesus, God.
And you make fun of like the way he walks and stuff, but when I get up like 9 times out of 10, I'm at least temporarily walking like Ozzy. Like right now, my back's all screwed up. Not terrible, and I've been very lucky not to have. I had sciatica once, but I'm very lucky not to have like a lot of back problems. But my God,
that happens as you get older. I think everyone of our age and older has that happen. Bill Burr does a big routine about, if anyone breaks into my house, I'm going to have to stretch first before I get out of bed.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what happens when you get older.
Well, yeah, when I get out of and it's odd, the more active I am, the harder it is to get out of the chair. It's my hips, my back, everything. Really, we're not meant to live this long. Because this used to be the end.
Right, back in the good old days,
Yeah.
you died in your early 30s, and you didn't have to worry about it.
That's right. Like, there wasn't this long runway. I mean, as soon as this stuff started happening, the village didn't need you anymore. You couldn't
get
hunt.
it all out of the way early. Yeah.
Yeah, you had
run
kids
around.
at like 15.
Yeah.
Then your kids, you were 30. Your kids were 15. It was time to like take the foot off the gas a little bit.
And by 45, you were done.
Hey,
60.
Any fallout from the strike at Fenway over the weekend?
Oh, yeah, good
Since you were there,
yeah.
did you?
I don't know. Were they still on strike yesterday?
Yeah, believe so.
Well, no, I didn't even know they were on strike. I'm like a scab.
Well,
I don't
Cross
get
the
anything.
picket line and buy anything?
the strike wasn't that effective if he wasn't a winner.
If you didn't buy anything, they were fine with you going to the game.
You know what's funny about Fenway now, and it's true. It's not just because I don't drink anymore. It's that the lines for non-alcohol is 10 times longer than the beer lines. There's no beer line at any of the places. There is something going on, and this is not, Fred, you quit drinking 2 years ago and like it's all in your head. No, it's has nothing to do with me not drinking anymore. It's like you'll go and you'll like Milo and I wanted like a soda, so the line for the place that sold soda was like 30 deep. There's that beer right next to it. You know how Fenway is. The beer's right next to it. There's no line, not one person there. Like people not buying alcohol. I wonder, it would be interesting to find out like what alcohol sales are at Fenway right now, because it doesn't seem like anyone's buying any.
Just drinking in general is down. Like people don't drink the way that they used to. People, like younger people especially, don't drink.
Why?
At all.
Because of the YouTube, because of the great Dr. Huberman and these people. They're being told constantly that if you want to succeed in jiu-jitsu, which is what everyone in that sphere does, that the alcohol is not good for you.
Joe Mazzulla leading the charge.
Yes. I mean, there's that block of time. It's much like our generation with Limp Bizkit. There's a block of time that you're all going to have to answer for your jiu-jitsu faith. When everyone's like, what was everyone doing? Oh, we were all doing jiu-jitsu. Because I told you, Jonah Hill did something for GQ, and they were like, the things you can't live without.
His gi. That's
and
right.
one of them was his gi.
That's right.
Which is just like, no. You're an adult with your gi. Everyone's doing jiu-jitsu.
So in about 20 years.
It's like everyone who didn't play sports in high school is a jiu-jitsu guy now. Super jiu-jitsu guy. I'm going to get jacked and get into jiu-jitsu. And that is what you're going to have to answer for,
You wind up on a talk show, say, look at me now. You picked on me before. Now I can take you.
But it does, this non-drinking coincides with me not drinking, because I just remember the beer lines being horrible at Fenway. And I told these stories where, guys would get to the front lines because there's people at Fenway that never go out, like adjunct Harvard professors and stuff that have like tweed jackets on at the games, and they all look like Alan Dershowitz, like with like wild hair, and they're all like like live in a library.
They've gone for the eccentric look.
Yeah, well, no, it's just that like academic, like old school, like academic look that, and not a particularly like cool one. They're not like the cool like English teacher. They're like, these guys that are basically like librarians, and they'll go in there and they'll go, what do you have? Well, Jesus Christ, you've been in line for a half an hour, and like, what do they have? This isn't a conversation. You're not at the store. And I just remember those lines being completely intolerable. And now that I don't drink, there's no lines. You get whatever you want. All right, look, We will be back in just a moment. So much more happened, but there you go. The Red Sox win yesterday. Jordan Hicks, very fortunate to get out of that situation that he was in.
Yeah, Hernandez hit that ball rather hard.
It wasn't even. The Dodgers pinch ran too. That was a pinch runner, and I don't understand. I don't know how he got caught off second. I really don't. Like, I don't know why. I don't know how he got caught off second. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox beat the Dodgers yesterday 4-3 to take 2 out of 3 in the series. Aroldis Chapman came in the 8th inning, didn't finish the game. Was dealing with some back spasms, he said afterwards. Sox will hit the road for a 3-game set against the Twins starting tonight. First pitch 7:40 Eastern time. Yankees put Aaron Judge on the 10-day injured list with a flexor strain in his right elbow. The team says he's going to have to DH when he comes off the IL. Royals reportedly signing a 2-year contract extension for pitcher Seth Lugo. That takes him off the market before Thursday's trade deadline. Patriots players back at camp today for the first padded practice of the summer. Gates open at 9:15. Practice at 10:30 outside of Gillette Stadium. Commanders receiver Terry McLaurin has arrived at training camp 4 days late. Owes $200,000 in fines and has been placed on the PUP list with an ankle injury. Cowboys' Micah Parsons says it's a back injury and not his contract dispute that led to him missing the team's first padded practice of camp yesterday. Headlines are brought to you by the McGovern Automotive Group. McGovern and 98.5 The Sports Hub are giving away a brand new Ford F-150. For more info on how to enter, follow 98.5 The Sports Hub and McGovern Auto Group on Instagram. Complete rules and details at 985thesportshub.com. I'm Ryan Johnston on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. More headlines around 7 o'clock.
You're listening to Toucher and Hook. of Dodger and Hardy
That's what I want on my tombstone.
on the Sports Hub.
Board doesn't at this point is turn on mic. I can adjust a little bit. Some audio I can't adjust. Other audio I don't know why. I guess they were hesitant to give me power to do things on this board, is what I was told.
Because the board you had in both other places did more, correct?
Well, I ran the board at WBCN, obviously, and then when they went to the Sports Hub, I was still running the board. In fact, I just told them I can run the board. You know, the producer could go do other stuff. Like, I don't need the producer running the board. I can do it. And they were like, no, this is how it's going to be because the board set up. We're going to give you your own board. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then when we moved so I still had control of stuff. I had like 8 pots that I could control stuff on. And then we moved to Dorchester, and most of it went away. And now that we're here, I control this Vox Pro. And then I'm like, I want to play stuff off my computer. And they're like, we don't want you to be able to play stuff off your computer.
Did you get an explanation for that?
They don't want people being able to play stuff. I don't know.
It would seem to be, especially this show, which is different than all the other ones, you should be able to play stuff you see in front of you.
Yeah, like in Atlanta, I was the host of the morning show and ran the board and played like elements. Now, I can't play I need a co-host or someone that plays elements during bits, but I had a touch screen and things that I could do. They took it all away. All right, John, what else happen yesterday?
Baseball Hall of Fame, Fred. They inducted its class, of 2025. Other than CC Sabathia, Billy Wagner, and Phillies and White Sox legend Dick Allen, the star of the day was Ichiro Suzuki, who, after conducting most of his interviews through an interpreter during his career, he was in the majors for over 20 years and basically spoke through an interpreter the entire time. But yesterday he surprised a lot of people by giving his acceptance speech basically in English. He was nearly a unanimous election to the Hall of Fame.
3,000 hits, 262 hits in one season are achievements recognized by the writers. Well, all but one of you. And by the way, the offer for that writer to have dinner at my home has now expired.
Big laughs for Ichiro. He was slaying him yesterday.
Wait, why was that funny? So he said
it wasn't. That was my point.
Yeah, I know, but I don't get the joke. So the joke was one writer didn't vote for him to be Rookie of the Year.
No, one writer didn't vote him into the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
He was unanimous except for one person.
Okay, because I know that there was a guy who didn't vote for him for Rookie of the Year or something, and that was a big deal too. But
yeah.
Okay, and so the thing is, the guy didn't vote for him for the Hall of Fame, and he had. So the joke is that he invited everyone over for dinner at his house?
No, the day the election became official, they went to him and asked and said, "Are you upset that one guy didn't vote for you?" And he said, "Well, I'd love to have that guy over for dinner and explain my candidacy to him or her." So that was where that second joke came from.
It's really on me for not having that knowledge.
Yes, okay. Correct. It's all on you.
Yes.
And he had one other joke. A lot of people forget Ichiro, after he left Seattle, went to the Yankees and then spent 3 years in Miami. He talks about that.
Yeah, man, it's tough.
No,
but it's the business right now, and just trying to take things day by day.
Not exactly. That had nothing whatsoever to do with what I was talking about. Let's try this.
And to the Miami Marlins, honestly, when you guys called to offer me a contract for 2015, I have never heard of your team.
See, he tried to be light and funny for most of his acceptance speech.
Okay.
And failed for the most part. But he's one of the best right fielders ever, so, you can kind of give him a pass. The 2026 Hall of Fame ballot, Fred, by the way, much weaker than this one. The best first-time eligibles next year, Cole Hamels and Ryan Braun.
And what happens with that is that they feel like they need to shove someone in, so someone like Burt Blyleven will make the Hall of Fame. Andy Pettitte was never an All-Star?
Yeah. Andy Pettitte was the best number 2 starter ever on those Yankee teams.
Well, Burt Blyleven is like, maybe I was the best number 2 starter ever because he's in the Hall of Fame. There are guys in the Hall of Fame that were never an All-Star. I don't understand that at all. I don't get how you could. I mean, making an all-star team is not hard.
Yeah.
There's guys that like Tommy. What's his face on the Cardinals representative?
Tommy Hurt.
Not Tommy Hurt. Well, Tommy Hurt probably was.
Now, you said Tommy, so I think that's I thought that's where you were going.
Is Donovan from the Cardinals was an all-star. It's like it's not hard.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to put someone from every team on. If you were never an all-star, I don't get it.
Next year, Andrew Jones has his last year of eligibility.
I was in Atlanta when he played there. He wasn't even a big star in Atlanta.
He got 66% of the vote. You were talking about shoving someone in there. Beltran just missed this year, and Andrew Jones got 2/3 of the vote. He's in his final year of eligibility, so maybe one of those two make it in.
Well, Andrew Jones should not. Except for the day that Bobby Cox came out of the dugout when he didn't think he was hustling
Took
and
him
took him out of center field. Came out and pulled him out of center field.
Well,
Beltre, I could see making the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Beltran got 70% of the vote this year.
Right.
So you would figure in a year that's a down year, he would be the one guy that would get in.
Yeah. Oh, I guess Pettit was an all-star. All right. There you go. He was a 3-time all-star, so I take it back. I take it all back.
It's all on you, Fred.
I take it all back. All right. We will be back in just a moment. There is some local news. It's got everyone in an uproar, and we will have that for you in just a moment.
Show Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Alex Bregman's two-run home run in the fifth inning helped the Red Sox beat the Dodgers yesterday 4-3. Boston takes 2 out of 3 in that series. Closer Aroldis Chapman came in, did not finish the game, said afterwards he was dealing with back spasms. Sox will hit the road for 3 in a row against the Twins starting tonight. Richard Fitz on the mound. First pitch, 7:40 Eastern Time. Yankees have placed Aaron Judge on the 10-day injured list with a flexor strain in his right elbow. The team says he won't throw for the next 2 weeks. Will be limited to DHing once he comes off the IL. Royals reportedly finalizing a 2-year contract extension for pitcher Seth Lugo. That takes him off the market before Thursday's trade deadline. Patriots players had yesterday off. They're back today for what's expected to be the first padded practice of training camp. Practice begins at 10:30 outside Gillette Stadium. Gates will open at 9:15. Commanders receiver Terry McLaurin has arrived at training camp, but still is without a new contract. The team placed him on the PUP list with an ankle injury. Chargers signed left tackle Rashawn Slater to a 4-year contract extension to make him the highest paid offensive lineman in history. It's $92 million guaranteed, up to $114 million total. Chicago Bulls have signed head coach Billy Donovan to a multi-year extension. He's been to the playoffs 1 year out of 5 so far. Sports Hub headlines brought to you by the new burgers at the 99, like the new Bourbon Onion Burger. Their half-pound, 100% American Angus beef is sure to please. You gotta love the nines. I'm Ryan Johnston on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. More headlines in around 30 minutes.
Pat's training camp is coming, and we'll be there to bring you every drill, every scrimmage and preseason game as the Pats get ready for a new season of football. On your home for all things Patriots, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Is elongating.
Weekday morning.
Here goes Hardy.
Toucher and Hardy.
I no longer love things.
Let's go. Let's ride.
98.5.
Let's roll the dice.
The Sports Hub.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. Ryan Johnston is in for Hardy today. Adam 12 is out in Maine. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. This happened in Boston. This is a news story from Boston, and it goes along the lines of this tracks.
This next story is one a number of viewers have reached out to us about.
Okay, so with all that's going on in the world, a number of viewers, and this is this is the kind of stuff that now people get upset. This is what makes people upset. Now, you might say, is it the situation in Gaza? Is it, is it famine around the world? What has got people so upset? People have reached in. They forced the news to do this story. Get off your hands, journalism, and please uncover these terrible deeds.
This next story is one a number of viewers have reached out to us about. In Shrewsbury, video shows police officers.
Now, okay, video shows. Was there some kind of crazed driver running over innocent children? Was there
a big stick up? A guy had a gun in a supermarket and threatening children, something like that.
Yes. What happened? What happened to the children of Shrewsbury? What is going on?
This next story is one a number of viewers have reached out to us about. In Shrewsbury, video shows police officers stepping on a goose's neck and shooting the animal on the side of a busy street.
A goose.
Let's go, Goose. I have so many questions. How many phone calls do you think they got?
A trillion. This is what people get upset about. Everything else washes off of them. Anything that happens to a human being they can't relate to it. You know, people stepping on landmines, starving to death is something I keep going back to. But the goose, this is the big thing. And the indignity of stepping on the goose's neck while you shoot it. This is what upsets people. People care so much more about animals than they do about other people. It's really crazy.
And shooting the animal on the side of a busy street. We're going to show you a part of that video.
Ooh.
Oh, this must be the 6 o'clock.
Now, this is going to get you upset.
This must be the 6 o'clock news.
All
You
right.
Save the juicy stuff for the A block.
Yes, indeed.
And shooting the animal on the side of a busy street. We're going to show you a part of that video. Police tell Boston 25 News that they believed the bird was suffering from avian flu. An officer shot the animal twice, but...
Now, John, is that true? Was the goose suffering from avian flu? How offended did you get over this?
Dementia, you can't control someone like that. It tracks. It's fine.
So
I think that's an adequate diagnosis.
You're a Kevorkian kind of person for your own kind.
I mean,
geese.
the goose is suffering, Fred. He's suffering. Avian flu's no joke.
It really isn't.
An officer shot the animal twice, but when it didn't die, another officer stepped on its neck. The goose survived that as well. An environmental police officer showed up to shoot the goose again and put it down.
It's like it was a Marx Brothers routine.
Aha! So the environmental people showed up. You can't have the animal backers say there weren't proper authorities there. Guy came in, assessed the situation, said, we need to put this goose down.
Yeah.
It's very important.
The woman who gave Boston 25 News this video says the goose appeared to have been hit by a car before all of this happened. Shrewsbury police say avian flu is an issue in their town, having put down 12 waterfowl since January.
Okay, so this happens in, you're obviously familiar with Raptor Tails Rescue in Shrewsbury.
Sure.
Obviously, you have had, Ryan, you were in broadcasting. You were doing political broadcasting. I imagine Raptor Tails Rescue in Shrewsbury came across your desk
all
more
the
than
time.
a couple times.
Sure.
They're disappointed and disgusted with the actions police took euthanizing the bird. The group said many more humane options were available for this animal. So this goose is going nuts in Shrewsbury, and the police now have to, they have to grab it and hug it until they can find someone to put it down with morphine?
How about get it with the first shot? Like they shot the thing twice and then stepped on its neck and then shot it a third time.
Who knows how to kill the bird? They're on the street trying to kill this thing. It's running around.
You're a police officer with what I assume decent firearms training. You can't not take the goose down with two shots.
I don't think they missed the goose. I just think the goose it refused to die. You know, if you chop the head off a turkey, they run around like crazy. As a rescue, watching this video churned stomachs. Once it was publicly posted, calls began rolling in emails, texts, and messages to the rescue from several people on site. But at that point, the goose was deceased. Please do better, SPD, and ask for help if you're not knowledgeable regarding wildlife euthanasia.
Wait a minute, they did ask for help. Didn't an environmentalist show up?
Or handling restraint. Wait for trained professionals or call a wildlife rehabilitator. We're right here. Yeah, they should have you on speed dial. When the goose is going crazy, they should Google geese saviors Shrewsbury.
Of course, the wildlife rehabilitator is waiting by his or her phone for the phone call.
Yeah, well, they are. They have a dispatch that they're right there. It's easy to get them. They're ready to mobilize at any point. While we highly respect our officers and the difficult job they perform daily, well, do you? A better explanation is needed for what we can only describe as animal cruelty. Again, what did you have for lunch? What did you have for breakfast? Most likely animal. It goes along the same lines with these turkeys. That I can only imagine what would happen to you if you hit a turkey. They can come up and peck your car. They can come up and peck you on the leg. And it's cute when you first move to Massachusetts and there's turkeys because there's nowhere else where there's turkeys walking around. And you go, oh, that's nice. There's turkeys. But if they come after you, if you kicked a turkey, if a turkey was attacking you in traffic, like say you were walking your dog or something, not even because the dog would kill the turkey, but say you were out walking with a loved one and a turkey came up to you and started pecking at you and wouldn't leave you alone and you kicked it with your foot and that got on video, they would try to ruin your life. But meanwhile, you can go to Subway and have 17 turkey sandwiches and no one bats an eye.
My wife used to work in an office park at the intersection of Route 9 and 95, Fred. I won't call it 128 this time. So
yes, it's the I-95. It goes through many, many states.
128 for a while in this state. But I digress.
When? In your lifetime, it was 128?
Yes.
It wasn't I-95.
It was always 128 in that section, yes.
No, it was I-95, though. They brought in the interstate highway system while you were alive, Jonathan.
I've only known it as 128, Fred. I don't know what to tell you. From Canton,
except for the signs that say I-95?
No, the sign that says 128, big
So why is that same road, I-95,
I don't know.
everywhere else?
Obviously, they've mislabeled it.
It goes throughout the country. It goes all the way to Miami.
Except when it's here. And then it's 128.
Sure.
It's all right. So my wife used to work at an office park. There was a turkey chasing a family across the street. There was a guy who happened to be driving by at the same time and hit the turkey and stunned it, knocked it out, got into an enormous amount of trouble with the law, the Wellesley law. The police called him and cited him. I forget for what. But the point was the turkey, more to your point about pecking, was chasing this family around the office park. It was at the end of the day. And the guy did a human service by hitting this thing and getting it away from the family. And he was the one who got into trouble.
Well, no, he would get in trouble because people care more about turkeys than they do about children. And that's absolutely true. I don't know what it is about an animal that's going nuts that you care. Who cares how many times they had to shoot it? And listen, I'm someone who has adopted a cat and a dog, and I went in to do laundry on Friday or on Saturday, and I smelled a great smell.
Oh, boy.
And I have one room in my home that's generally not used, and it's got like broadcasting equipment in it and like bookshelves and stuff. I never go in there. I wouldn't even know how to describe the room. And my cat had crapped all over the room. It just had decided to start crapping in that room. And I mean, a lot of crap. And not hard crap either. Loose crap.
Ugh.
And so I had to sit there, and then I asked my son, I said, can you help me pick this up? And he's like, no, I'll throw up. Oh, as opposed to me, who loves the crap. And I had to sit there on my hands and knees picking up cat crap and then wiping it down with bleach and everything else.
Sounds like a good day to spend a good way to spend a Saturday. It's good.
Well, no, Jonathan. It was very unpleasant. It was actually quite unpleasant. I think you read that situation completely wrong.
Yeah.
It was quite unpleasant. So I'm sitting around with this dog that no one wanted to adopt, that won't sit down, and this cat that's crapping all over every room in the house. Well, Fred, get it new litter. I've gotten everything. I've gotten 17 litter boxes. I probably spent $700 on litter boxes for this animal. Every kind of litter. And then she'll go to the bathroom in the litter box, and then just one day she'll just decide to go to the bathroom all over the house. And then people will go, oh, she's anxious or something like that. Okay. Well, I don't know what you want me to do about it. The cat is cared for. The cat it's certainly fat. I mean, it's living life and gorging itself. I don't know what more you want from me. So even if you adopt these animals, there's no credit for that. There's no credit for going around a room and picking up crap. If you hit a turkey, immediately you're public enemy number one.
Your first cat, the one that lived until
the Fluff.
The Fluff.
Get the Fluff respect on her name.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Was this similar behavior?
No, the Fluff. The Fluff was the greatest. The Fluff required nothing. The Fluff always went. Even if you didn't clean the litter box, the Fluff didn't care. The Fluff ate alley cat food when I was in my 20s. I used to get its food at the gas station. There was like a gas station that they had cigarettes and cat food. And it was called Alley Cat. And it was like $1 for a 15-pound bag of Alley Cat. It was the Texas pride of cat foods.
I'm guessing at least 50% of that food that was sold at that gas station was not consumed by cats.
Oh, I would imagine it was quite a nice snack.
That's a good point.
For the guy with elephantitis that stood on the side of the road. I don't know if you know about that, but there's a famous guy in Atlanta that was right by my house that stood at an intersection every day in bike shorts, and he had elephantitis of the nuts. And he would just stand there and wave at cars with elephantitis. And people knew about it. Like, it was in Creative Loafing and stuff. They were like, Best of Atlanta. There was the guy that stood on Ponce with the big balls. He would stand out there every day. So I would imagine he had his share of alley cat. Yeah, this was not the greatest neighborhood. This was a neighborhood where they sold cat food at the gas station. Not a lot of Whole Foods and stuff in this vicinity of this neighborhood. But the Fluff eat alley cat. Always went in the litter box. And I mean, I had this cat when I was, single and in my 20s. I mean, this cat I wasn't like taking it to the vet or anything. Mm-hmm. And then it got to the point where I never took the cat to the vet because I figured it was more traumatic to take the cat to the vet than it was just let the cat be. And that cat lived to be 21 years old. It lived to be old enough to be mocked by Zolak.
Did that cat ever go to the vet in its entire life?
It had its rabies shots. When it first, but I never renewed its rabies. It didn't go outside, so no. It didn't go to the vet for probably certainly 18 years. The last 18 years of its life, it didn't go to the vet. And it died in my lap in the parking lot of the vet while we were taking it to be euthanized.
Oh, there you go.
The Fluff said, I can finally, in your arms, I'm not kidding. It was the Fluff said, because I was the only one the Fluff liked, it would follow me around. Mm-hmm. And if my kids looked at it, it would be like, stop looking at me. It didn't want my kids petting her.
Ryan, there was this very famous thing where the cat was acting out and his ex-wife was driving the cat somewhere and she put him on the phone on speaker to calm it down.
Yeah. The Fluff was going, meow, meow, meow. And then Stephanie called and she's like, can you talk to the Fluff? And when I was like, kitty, 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 kitty. And then immediately it stopped meowing. That's the kind of bond the Fluff and I had. So I'm an animal lover.
The dog you currently, what's the name of your dog?
Deuce.
Does Deuce see the vet regularly?
Yes.
Okay.
Because he's outside. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And to board him, I need to have all his shots up to date.
Okay.
Stuff.
That's true. I hadn't thought of that.
No, the cat stays inside. What's the cat going to get? Because the cats hate being in the car. They hate being at the vet. Like, it freaks them out. If they're not going outside, I figure, why the hell do you got to take them to the vet? Why upset the cat? And I'm right. The Fluff lived to be 21. And I would question anyone else. How long did your cat live? If I had a cat live to be 21 years old, I know better. That's my information right there. I did a scientific study, and that's what the cat required. So all of you making your own cat's food, and then they're all getting sick and dying, and you're taking it to the vet every day.
It puts everything in perspective a little bit. You have people, cat owners, that go way out of their way.
Well, that's the thing is
to
that
prove to you how good an owner they are.
And if you email me going blah 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 blah, I will counter my cat lived to be 21. Your cat did not. There's no way your cat lived longer than mine. The Fluff lived for so long, I started seeing longest living cats of all time. When the Fluff turned 20 and was still in pretty good health, I was like, what if this cat lives to be 30? No, she did not, and she was very ill at the time. Remember, we had the guy calling in about how cruel I was to take it.
Let them run away and die.
Yeah,
that was it. Yeah,
the guy called in and he said that I should have just let it die, which it did. It died essentially on my lap. But and if you're a cop and you got everything you got to deal with, not even the violent stuff, but the dumb domestic disputes, people screaming at you in traffic, and then there's this crazed bird running around bothering people, and now I'm being told by some organization no one's ever heard of to be nicer to the... I'm putting myself in danger as a police officer. I could get shot at any moment. Every time I pull a car over for your safety... And you know the people that work at this place are the people calling the police with minor complaints. And they got to protect you, but they have to kill the goose in the right way.
Yeah, and if you're making me wait, if I'm a cop, you're making me wait an hour. I have to wrestle with this thing until you decide to...
When you're just going to kill it anyway.
You are.
Well,
yeah.
You're just going to kill it anyway.
Exactly.
So if the main thing is to kill it, and it's their fault, they euthanized in the right way. So take the wild goose, hold it until someone shows up, then have them go through the expense of transporting it. What if there's a murder? What if there's an active shooter, and you're holding a goose? One cop can't hold the goose the whole time. I mean, I would have to imagine, and they're not trained in that stuff. You just try shooting it, it won't die. It's not their fault that it's the Rambo of geese. That's not their fault at all. But there you go. The cat, the cat crapped everywhere. And then the cat's now peeing in the shower occasionally.
Oh, that's new. That's new. The cat pees in the shower. It's
not new. It's just like occasionally the cat will pee in the shower because it's pissed about something. I don't know what it's pissed. It's afraid of the dog is what the problem is. She's afraid of the dog, but the dog doesn't go upstairs. And I have where the cat's litter is, I have a door.
Cat does have a safe space.
Well, upstairs is my son's upstairs, in the whole upstairs, my bedroom, all of that are all safe spaces for the cat.
Okay.
And then the dog's in a crate when no one's there, and the cat's food and litter are in an area where only the cat can get into it. There's a baby gate with a cat door where only the cat can fit through. So the cat's got a pretty decent situation. Say the place is 3,500 square feet. The cat's got, 2,500 square feet of cat space and plenty of human interaction. It's just afraid of the dog. But the dog's never done anything to the cat. And what am I to do? I mean, what am I to do? You want me to get rid of the dog so the cat's happy? You want me to get rid of the cat? I can't get rid of these animals. I adopted them. I gotta. They are what they're with me. But the cat.
How old's the cat?
Not old enough. The cat is 3,
and the dog's like 3 or 4.
The cat's probably 3.5, and the dog's 2.5.
Okay, so you only have another 10 or 15 years of this.
What, the cat?
No, the two of them together.
Oh, I can't imagine that dog.
8 years with the dog, right?
That dog probably lived till 12.
Yeah, 8 or 9 years together, and then your problem will be solved.
Well, 10 years, 9.5 years. And then I'll be almost 60, and then that will be a good day. Then I'll really know I'm old. And then you start going, if I get a dog now, another dog, is this the one that's going to kill me? Like I'll break a hip. And then when you break a hip at a certain age, like you're basically dead.
Is this dog going to outlast me?
Well, is this dog going to outlast me, or is this dog going to kill me? And like not in like a Garfield way, in like a very real, is this dog going to kill me? Because if you get a puppy and they trip you up when you're like old and you break your hip, I mean, that sends everything downhill, believe me. All right. There you go. So shame on the Shrewsbury police. You're out there risking your lives and you couldn't figure out how to, Jesus Christ, give the guys a break. I'm on your side, Shrewsbury police, believe me. All right. We'll be back in just a moment with some Patriots camp information.
the Sports Hub.
We are Toucher and Hardy. Ryan Johnston is here. Ryan, do you go to Patriots training camp?
I do not.
Have you ever been to Patriots
Many times.
You have been?
Yeah, they used to send us down to do shows on the weekends, Flynn and I.
Where's Flynn up to?
Coaching football. He's got a new, I believe he's coaching Hamilton Wenham this year. I think he's moved into the public school sector after a few years of working in the prep school.
Is that in Gloucester?
No, it's in Hamilton and or Wenham.
Is that in Massachusetts?
Yes.
Okay. Is that by Gloucester?
Ish.
Okay.
Somewhere. It's somewhere up on the North Shore.
Is he still in Gloucester? Is he still living in Gloucester?
No, he lives in Wenham.
Okay. Oh, so he's moved. But he did live in Gloucester.
No, he has lived in Wenham as long as I've known him.
Oh, he always said that he lived in Gloucester. Perhaps he didn't want me to know where he lived. So is he the head football coach?
Yes.
Really?
Nice.
And he's enjoying it.
Yeah.
He doesn't miss his time here at the Sports Hub.
Doesn't seem like it.
No. Do you talk to him often?
I haven't talked to him in a while. Like we'll text every so often or whatever. But
he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would want to stay in touch. Like, Flynn didn't seem like overly concerned with. I loved him. I thought he was great. I really enjoyed working with him. I really did. I think that he was one of the most honest athletes when he would be like, we were just trying to get through it, dude. Like, we were just trying to get through the game. Like, the best is the Ted Washington story that he told.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I will tell it again. If you listen to the show a lot, I apologize, but it's a great story. So Mike Flynn was a center for these great Ravens teams. Like, Flynn played at University of Maine. He was a center for 10 years in the NFL. And so, you hear about these guys and like they're big hard asses and all this stuff. So it was a preseason game and they were playing, I guess, let's say the Raiders. Ted Washington was on the Raiders at that point. And there was this try-hard guard that was playing next to Flynn, and he cut Ted Washington on a play. And Ted Washington got pissed and went up to Flynn and was like, "I'm going to kill you guys. Like what's going on?" So they get to the huddle, and everyone on the Raiders team is like, "What the F's wrong with you?" Because they're like, "Why are you trying so hard? You're going to get this guy all upset.
Stop pissing off Ted Washington.
Stop pissing off Ted Washington." So Ted Washington was 6'5", 350 pounds. And so the point that Flynn was making is even in a regular season game, Ted Washington would try 1/3 of the plays maybe. Like a lot of plays he's taken off. Like he's just kind of pretending to be on the play. And the last thing you want to do is upset him because Flynn's going to be the guy who has to take the brunt of that punishment. And Flynn's a big guy, but not nearly the size of Ted Washington. So they were I like that, let's just try to get out of this game. Let's just not get hurt. Let's just, all I want to do is get through this game and get it over with. That seems way more accurate and more like every other human being than some of these guys talk about. Like after hearing Tom Brady all those years about excellence and all this, hearing someone just I'm trying to make a paycheck here.
This is what
Let's make this more difficult than it has to be.
This is what the non-quarterbacks go through.
Well, it's like every other
the
job.
linemen who have contact.
Like every other job, most of the time, if you're just a worker, you're just trying to get you're clocking in and clocking out. Like you want to get it done with as least amount of effort as possible. Like you want to do a good job and you want to keep your job, but let's not make this any more difficult than it has to be. We got a big fatso that can only go so long, and now you're going to get him all riled up, and he's going to start getting angry, and I don't want to take the punishment, quite frankly. In a preseason game, he's like Ted Washington just standing up, basically. You snap it, Ted Washington just standing there. He's got nothing to prove to anyone.
Ted Johnson used to tell a story on the other side when he was a rookie and wanted to make, I think he was actually against the Raiders, and they had two huge guards, and it was an exhibition game, and Ted Johnson was going 1,000,000 miles an hour. And after he cut a guy out at the knees to open up a hole to get the safety in for a sack or something like that, the guards got up and started screaming at him. And then it was the defensive line who went back to Ted Johnson. Like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
We're the guys who have to deal with these people. Why would you piss them off in a preseason game?
I do like the idea of that if you're a young go-getter during a preseason game, that the veterans are all calm the F down.
Yes, it's exactly what they're
stop
doing.
trying. What the hell's wrong with you? I'm trying to make this team. All right, get the hell out of here with you trying to make this team.
We're the guys who have to get punished.
Yeah,
not
save
you.
it for the fourth quarter while we're not here. We're in the game now, so cut it out. All right. Pat's training camp, Jonathan.
Pat's training camp yesterday. They had yesterday off after 3 workouts to start things. Basically a glorified walkthrough on Saturday. But the pads are going to be on this morning. The team will hold their first real true practice of the summer at 10:15 a.m. behind Gillette Stadium. But on Saturday, the offense a little less efficient than they had been on Friday. Drake May still able to complete a few deep balls over what's expected to be a better-than-average Patriots defense. Again, not elite, but better than average. And there's one guy that a lot of people talked about on Saturday, linebacker Robert Spillane. The head coach, Mike Vrabel, spent some time with him in Tennessee and got him signed here after he was a captain on the defense in Las Vegas last season.
He's a very competitive, prideful leader, and he plays with a lot of energy, plays with passion. Great communicator, plays with a level of violence in the run game, and I think he's got a little level of versatility to him, too.
That is the head. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so we were about camp, and you were talking about Drake May's numbers. So on the weekend, sometimes I'll get in the shower if I'm going out. If I'm not in the shower. But on like a Saturday evening, and they have the national guys who are terrible. Fox Sports Radio on the weekend is not good. But this one guy was talking about how he worked one of the cities Derek Carr played in. He was doing something, and he was talking about how Carr sucked during a training camp practice, and Carr emailed him and was like, "Can I talk to you on the phone and explain to you what's going on?" And he's like, "Yes." And Carr's like, "All right, the reason what you watched was us doing situational, like 3rd and long stuff, and I'm trying to throw the ball into traffic to see like how much we can get away with against these different coverages. Like it's almost designed for me to throw picks. These are not throws I'd throw in a normal game."
And that's exactly what happened on Saturday. On Friday, the offense concentrated on short passes, getting first downs, and May was 14 of 15 or 15 of 16. If you look at the numbers from Saturday, he was 8 of 15, 8 of 17, and you look at it and go, okay, what happened? Well, the emphasis on Saturday was the long ball, and that's the thing. Drake May hit a couple of long passes over the defense, but the further you throw the football, the less accurate you're going to be, and this speaks to what you were just talking about. Patriots worked on long passes Saturday, short passes on Friday.
Yeah.
And so the offense wasn't nearly as good.
Right. And so, we're so obsessed with football now. Everyone, for every team, you have to. But it was funny because this guy was like disavowing himself of the importance of it, but yet he was doing it. And it sounded very much like a McCarthy era. Listen, I know he's doing all these terrible things, but I'm following orders. Well, if you think it's such a terrible thing for the NFL, then don't do it. But this is what he does. But you'll see, like, the quarterback was this for this, and you have to put that, I guess, into some kind of perspective. I mean, I don't think that we generally think too much about how the quarterback's performing in these practices. Maybe the joint practices.
Yeah.
And it was funny that Rodgers threw a pick on his first pass.
Yeah, Jackson Dart did the same thing.
Yeah.
For the Giants. The one item of note, and we were talking about this last week, about how good this roster really is, and if the roster is really that good, then they shouldn't have your top 4 draft picks start for you, and that is certainly a possibility. It happened on Saturday. You had all 4 rookies running with the first unit. You had Kyle Williams at wide receiver. You had Wilson running as a guard and not center next to Bradbury. And, of course, you have Will Campbell at left tackle. But right now, Mike Vrabel is in a situation where all 4 of these rookies could make a massive impact by starting. And that speaks to how poor your roster has been over the last 2 years.
Well, yeah. I mean, the draft last year outside of Drake May was terrible, and then Belichick couldn't draft to save his life for how many years?
Yeah, but these are the stories of camp.
No, I know. And then if you have 4 rookies playing, that's great for your draft class, 2 years from now. But, I mean, it's not ideal that 4 kids are starting for your team. That's why these 9-win scenarios, and look, anything can happen, I mean, they could win the Super Bowl. I don't know. But right now, it's just this expectation of 9 wins seems absolutely ludicrous to me. I mean, we have beat guys coming on and saying that this defensive line is elite. Elite? Who? Who's the elite guy? Yeah. Keon White's the elite guy. We had a guy calling. You idiots. Keon, huh?
Keon White would have been elite if the season were 2 games long.
Right. He had a great game.
He had 2 great games to start the season. He had
one really good game.
Well, no, he had 2.5 sacks in his first game.
And 2.5.
And he had a sack and a half in week 2. And
the sack and a half, I wouldn't even say is a great game.
But he had 4 sacks through 2 games. You know how many sacks he wound
5.
up with?
Yeah.
5
yeah.
at the end of the season.
Right, but he's great. 5 sacks. He's an elite pass rusher with 5 sacks. The only thing about the defensive line is that I don't doubt the kid that you got. Well, you would know, Ryan. You're an Eagles fan.
Milton Williams.
Yes.
So Milton Williams
couldn't break the starting lineup in Philadelphia.
Which is now look, they are star laden. I mean, they have complete genetic freaks on that defensive line. But I mean, a lot around here, and I'm not exaggerating. They're acting like he's Myles Garrett. They're acting like he's a $40 million a year guy. And he couldn't crack the starting lineup in Philadelphia. Like, they let him go. Philadelphia could have kept him. They could have found a way to keep him. You know how that goes. If you really want to keep a guy, you can always find a way. Like, Cincinnati could sign the lineman, the
Trey Hendrickson.
Trey Hendrickson. They could sign him. They don't want to sign him.
Yeah.
You know, and
Washington could sign Terry McLaurin, but they don't want to.
Well,
yes.
I know they don't want to sign McLaurin for the precedent that it would set. And yeah, there's a bunch of stuff going on.
But yes, the cap can be maneuvered.
Keon White, he had 5 sacks. Well, Milton Williams, he's never been a number 1 guy before. Like all these things, there's a lot. I don't know expectations of. You have a second-year quarterback who didn't even play a lot last year, really. He's going to make mistakes. And it's like I'm on their side. Like I'm on Drake May's side is that he should be allowed to make mistakes. Like he's not going to be great this year. He's not Jaden Daniels. Like Jaden Daniels is Jaden Daniels.
And you also have to remember what Jaden Daniels had to throw to. Terry McLaurin had an all-pro year last year.
But John, it doesn't even matter. Jaden Daniels is older, had more quality college experience, is better. Like he's an elite quarterback. Last year, we'll see how he plays this year because you could have a situation like you did in Houston where there's a little bit of a backslide. But, I mean, it takes kids a few years to become winning quarterbacks. Not good quarterbacks, but winning quarterbacks. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox took 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers over the weekend at Fenway, including a 4-3 win yesterday. Sox closer Aroldis Chapman left the game early. Said afterwards he was dealing with back spasms. Sox off on a 3-game series in Minnesota starting tonight. Richard Fitz will be on the mound. Yankees placing Aaron Judge on the injured list with a flexor strain in his right elbow. They say when he comes back onto the roster, he'll be limited to DHing for at least a while. Royals have taken Seth Lugo off the market, the pitcher signing a 2-year contract extension ahead of Thursday's trade deadline. After an off day yesterday, Patriots players will hit the field for their first padded practice of training camp today. They'll get underway at 10:30 outside of Gillette Stadium. The gates open for the public at 9:15. Terry McLaurin has arrived at Commanders training camp 4 days late, $200,000 in fines later, and the team has placed him on the PUP list with an ankle injury. Cowboys' Micah Parsons says it's a back problem and not his contract dispute that led to him sitting out their first padded practice of training camp yesterday. Headlines are brought to you by Celsius Energy Drinks. Refresh your energy with zero sugar, essential vitamins, and proven ingredients. I'm Ryan Johnston on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. More headlines at 8 o'clock.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Find quality protein at Whole Foods Market. Save 20% on sustainable wild-caught fresh halibut fillets with Prime through July 29th. Grill this light, flaky fish for a delicious seafood main. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
The state just left nearly $1 billion on the table in a backroom deal. MassDOT awarded a 35-year lease to operate the Pikes Travel Plazas to a foreign majority private equity-owned company, costing the Commonwealth up to $900 million in lost revenue. That's money that could fix roads and reduce toll fees. Waltham-based Global Partners had a better offer, but the public never saw a fair comparison. The time to act is now. Visit globalp.com/turnpike to sign the petition and demand transparency. That's globalp.com/turnpike. Let's keep our dollars local.
We finally switched to T-Mobile because with them, we can be connected here and there.
Let's watch a movie.
And we have Netflix included to enjoy our favorite shows and movies.
¿Qué tal esta? Bacanísima, pero ya la vi.
Now the hard part is getting them to agree on a movie.
Switch today and get the new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7 that is so much more than a flip phone, all on the best network in the U.S. Visit a store, T-Mobile.com, or call 1-800-T-Mobile. 1-800-T-Mobile. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla. Speed test intelligence data 1H 2025.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA World Cup here in Greater Boston. And our more than 100 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Nashua.
Yeah.
Oh, you said you didn't want to hear more music in the morning. Okay. Here's more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
We are Toucher and Hardy. Be listening for your chance to score a pair of tickets to see comedian Nate Bargatze. Did I say that right? Bargatze, of course. Bargatze at TD Garden on Saturday, August 9th. 2 shows virtually sold out, with a third show added at 3 p.m. Tickets still available at Ticketmaster.com. Is he doing 3 shows at the Garden in one day?
Sounds like it.
That's impressive. I wonder if that's ever happened before. That's got to be a long-ass day.
4, 7, and 10?
Well, 3.
Jeez.
3, 3, 6, and 9? 3, 6, and 10? No, you can't do 10 because you got to be out of there by 11.
Oh, that's right.
Maybe 3, 6, and 9?
No, his schedule says 3, 7, and then the third show is the next day.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. There you go.
Makes a little more sense.
2 arena shows in one day. And, I mean, that's I can't think of another comic that's done that. That's very impressive. Also, what's impressive is we will, I guess, talk about this is tomorrow. Maddie Siegel will be on the show at 9 o'clock. Now, Maddie was Maddie in the morning on the Star Station for 75 years. He was on WBCN before that. I think he was on the radio here for something like 50 years. So when we first started at WBCN, I had reached out to him. I'm like, hey, throw us some listeners. And he wrote something jokey back. And then when we started to be successful, he reached out to me and we started hanging out a little bit. Like when we became, number one, and then I guess he was number one with women, we were number one with men, and then it was kind of a toss-up with people, like when you combine the two. And so he had reached out to me, and we started hanging out a little bit. He lived in Newton, and now he has rented a place here in town, South Shore, for a couple months this summer, because he's down there in Florida. And people don't recognize him in Florida because he wasn't on the radio in Florida. So he comes up here, and he gets very excited because people are recognizing him because people are big fans of his.
Sure.
So he was like, he calls. He's 75. He calls. He's not a big texter. He likes to call.
Okay.
And he called me, and he's like, hey, I'm going to be in town. Can I come on the show? And I'm like, sure. And Cadillac, who works here, who I'm very fond of, but he works here in programming, was, I guess, the program director at Star, something of that along those lines, and has a deeper relationship with Maddie than I do. And then Cadillac got involved, and then it became something where there was a lot of questions and a lot of maneuvering.
I was involved with only a couple of those meetings.
Right, and my whole thing to everything is I don't care.
Yes, I can vouch for that.
They're like, well, can he do hot before he comes on your show? Sure.
Yeah.
And then Maddie's like, I don't know if I should do that. I don't know. And I'm like, I don't care.
Whatever you
I don't care. I don't care. So what are we going to do? I don't know, Maddie. Sit down. Come on the show. I played golf with them last week.
How'd that go?
I can't play golf anymore. I mean, I can't hit. I mean, I can't. I have an inability to play, which is strange because, I mean, there's a guys 400 pounds out there that can, they're 5'2", 400 pounds that seem to be able to play golf fine, but I can't play it. I mean, Maddie's 75.
I've seen the videos, but
well, no, I mean, I play. I can't. I lose. We played 18 holes. I probably lost 11 balls, 12 balls. I mean, I'm hitting all over the place. Now, we were looking for Maddie's balls far more than we were looking for mine, but Maddie, he doesn't tee off from the whites anymore, but he parred a few holes in a row there. So we were mostly focused on Maddie. It was just the two of us. So almost entirely focused on where he was.
I see.
But, so I went from the same tees he did, and for some reason that screwed me up even more. Even though it was closer, it still screwed me up a little bit.
You play from the Reds?
I don't want to talk. I don't want to embarrass the guy. We played from
anyway
other tees.
Yes.
He's 75. You play from the forward tees.
That's fine.
So I mean, but he'd get all butthurt, I think, if he knew we were talking about it. But but I got to tell you, the amount of conversation about something that I care this little about was really something.
No,
phone conversations and everything else.
Fred's whole thing the entire time was just sit down. Just let's just have a conversation for a while to see where it goes, and that's fine.
Yeah, if you were a big deal for a very long time.
Yes.
People love Matty. I'm very well aware of that. He's in the Radio Hall of Fame. He tells me all the time.
He did Kiss for more years than I can count in the mornings, and it was Dale Dorman in the afternoon. That station was legendary for a long time.
Right, so he's like, I've got Rich and Famous doing I go, Matty, fine. If you want to come on, come on. I don't have a problem with it. I know you. Like, we have a relationship. If you want to come on, that's fine. And then now Cadillac's involved. And can he come on this day? I don't care about any of it. And I think Matty's going to be extraordinarily disappointed because I think that he thinks that this is going to be like some big event. And when it's not a big event, he's going to say, he's like, people don't care about radio anymore. Like, all right, well, I'm sorry that this did not live up. I just know it's not going to live up to his expectations. Now, being on the show will be great. It'll be fine.
You think we should get him like a free bagel or something? Maybe that'll cheer him up.
Oh, God, if Mena is in town, our general manager, I can only imagine what she'll be here for sure.
Yeah.
For 100% sure.
Most of management will be here.
Yeah, and because they love him more than anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, they've told me Matty's the funniest guy that's ever been on the radio. I'm like, huh? I'm sitting right here in front of you. I've made you guys plenty of money.
I know.
Now Matty's the best that's ever done it?
Yeah, but I mean, they gave Zolak the big cake and the television screen and not you. So
she loves Zolak.
Yeah.
She loves Zolak and
Zolak's
Matty.
always first
That's
in
who
line.
she loves.
That's very true.
But, they're going to be here. And Cadillac's really good friends with them. Mary probably is too, but they're going to be – this is going to be just so annoying to me.
Just wait.
It's going to be just very annoying.
You're going to get the check-in. Someone will contact you today, whether it be Cadillac or Mary, and say, okay, so how's this going to work? When are you going to bring
Cadillac
him in?
won't.
When are you going to
and I don't think –
what are you going to talk about? We got to avoid these three topics. You got to focus on these things.
Well, fine. Then we'll focus on the things they wanted to focus on. I don't care. It's not something where I'm like, this is my radio show and I need to do things my way.
Yeah.
Whatever you want, fine.
So Matt Siegel tomorrow. Tune in.
Matt Siegel tomorrow. Listen, people love him, and he hasn't been on the radio. It will be good. It's probably going to piss off Star that he's doing the radio show because, they hit a bad falling out with them. So who knows? But
people at KISS probably don't even know.
Well, he put it up on his social media, and I put it on our social media, I would imagine.
They do know, yes.
You noticed it was in the company-wide.
Did see that.
They do a thing. Mary Mena, our general manager, puts something out at the end of every week. It's a nice encapsulation of the week, some sales things that happen, different promotional things that happen, things that have happened on the air. I like it. I do like it. I like that we get that. And at the very end, it's like, Maddie's going to be on Tuesday. And I went, ugh. And I'm looking forward to it, but I just don't want to talk about it before it happens. He'll come in, and we'll chat with him. He goes, do you have headphones? I'm going to need headphones. He said that to me.
No, sorry, man.
That makes sense. His are in Florida.
No, sorry, Matty. We have no headphones at the radio
I mean, I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
No headphones at all.
Now, will there be a microphone?
I can't wait. This is going to be fun.
Will there be a chair for me to sit in? Like, Jesus.
Perhaps they didn't have any extra headphones at KISS.
20 hours a week. 20 hours a week, 48 weeks a year. We'll be fine. Everything is fine. It goes on every morning and goes off, and we're here.
Yeah.
We've
done all right for ourselves.
Yeah.
We've done okay.
Yeah, we're aware of how to do this. It's okay. We can do this. Be fine. And it's not like Cadillac's worried or anything. It's just the amount. It's not like consternation, like anyone's concerned anything bad's going to happen. It's like he's being handled like Tom Cruise is coming in or something. He's a radio guy. It'll be fine. I know him.
This is a bona fide Hall of Famer, Fred.
Yeah. There's nothing like the Radio Hall of Fame for a real who's who of Look at the people they enshrine. Mojo from Detroit got in this year. He's
Mike and Mike.
The greatest, the absolute greatest of all time. All right, caller number 10 of the contest line, 617-931-0985. You win a pair of tickets to see comedian Nate Bargatze. Correct?
Bargatze, yes.
Bargatze. And I'm a fan of his, so I should know how to pronounce it. At TD Garden on Saturday, August 9th, 2 shows virtually sold out with the third show added at 3. Tickets still available at Ticketmaster.com.
Stay tuned for more. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox beat the Dodgers yesterday at Fenway 4-3 to take 2 out of 3 in that series. Closer Aroldis Chapman left early. He said afterwards he was dealing with back spasms. Shouldn't be worthy of a trip to the IL. Sox will hit the road for a 3-game series against the Twins starting tonight. Richard Fitz will be on the mound. Yankees put Aaron Judge on the 10-day injured list with a flexor strain in his right elbow. The team says he won't throw for the next 10 to 14 days and will be limited to DHing once he comes back off the injured list. Royals reportedly finalizing a 2-year deal with pitcher Seth Lugo, which would take him off the market before Thursday's trade deadline. Patriots will have their first padded practice of training camp today outside of Gillette Stadium. They begin at 10:30. Gates will open for the public at 9:15. Commanders receiver Terry McLaurin has arrived at training camp, but still without a new contract. He was placed on the PUP list with an ankle injury. The Cowboys' Micah Parsons says he's got a back problem, and it's not the contract dispute with the team that led to him sitting out their first padded practice of training camp yesterday. The Chicago Bulls have signed head coach Billy Donovan to a multi-year contract extension. The headlines are brought to you by the McGovern Auto Group. McGovern and 98.5 The Sports Hub are giving away a brand new Ford F-150. For more info on how to enter, follow 98.5 The Sports Hub and McGovern Auto Group on Instagram. Complete rules and details at 985thesportshub.com. I'm Ryan Johnston on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. More headlines in around 30 minutes.
Here we go.
Boom. I win. Boom.
Yeah.
It's a buddy. We've got a passion for Boston sports.
Get angry.
98.5 The Sports Hub. Half Toucher.
Dressed like a gorilla.
Half Hardy.
A big, beautiful ball of flame.
And a whole lot of Boston sports.
And I have had many offers to become an insider.
Sports Hub.
Rise and shine, yet another day to toss away. What does my clock display? It says 8. This I'm late for work again, so then I dip with my pad and my pen. Step into the workplace with my work.
All right, we are Toucher and Hardy. Ryan Johnson is in for Hardy today. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. And as it is July, and it is, the dog days of summer, where have we gone as a society when there has to be some kind of agenda, there has to be some kind of talking points, some kind of take? What happened to just good old-fashioned human conversation? And that is why, Ryan Beaton, we, on days like today, we do a segment called...
Warming now for the summer breeze.
All right, so it is Shooting the Breeze. What happens is you give us a call, 617-779-0985, and we take your phone calls. It's like, you know what it is? It's a radio front porch.
Yeah.
Where you sit down, have a lemonade.
You're just sipping as the hot summer day washes over you.
Yeah.
And people walk by and they say hello.
Yeah. You don't have to have a whole... It can be a good-natured question. A fun observation. It's the most difficult radio bit in the history of radio bits. And what happens is Nicholas, he answers the phone. You talk to him. He gets you on lickety split.
Yeah.
617. I should have teased it in the last break, but I got so caught up in this
Maddie thing.
Maddie thing that I got to deal with that it was very hard for me to do. So 617-779-0985. People, they get in line. When was the last time we did Shooting the Breeze?
It's been almost a year, I would imagine, since the last time we were in the dog days of summer.
And then we just decided you just take phone calls.
Yeah.
And there's nothing more to it. And when you are waiting on phone calls and you forgot to tease it, you know what you have to do? You have to go to Blind Scott.
Why not?
Right. And
perfect guy to lead off this segment.
And, of course, the call screener jammed up just in time for all of this to happen.
There you go.
Blind
hey, what's up, guys?
Hello, Blind Scott.
I hope you're having a good summer. I can't wait for Matty to come in tomorrow. He's a member at the same golf course as my brother. I'm gonna.
Your brother's well, Matty's not. What, Blue Hill?
Yeah, my brother got in there during COVID on a discount. Blue Hills Country Club.
Now, have you been to Blue Hill? Have you been there?
No, I used to caddy at the Ridge Club in South Sandwich when I was a kid. I had Von Hagee course, all the big
How long
mounds,
have you been blind?
I've been legally blind since I was about 27. I'm 42 right now.
Oh.
I drove. Yeah.
What? How did you get? How'd you get blind? How did you become blind?
Like my parents each had like a gene like they carried, so when they met each other, it caused like a mutation in an X-linked chromosome, and it's like a degenerative disease. So the blood didn't fly to my retina, and it caused the retina to pop. So I never had peripheral vision, and then as I got older, my central vision just went away. I tried to drive like back in the day, but it didn't go too well,
With no peripheral vision, you tried to drive.
Yeah, even made a varsity hockey team being legally blind. We lost to Duxbury in the state semifinals,
Well, Blind Scott, you must have been a tremendous athlete to be able to achieve such.
Yeah,
goals.
it was like I played defense. I'm pretty big, so I would stay in the back and I would just crush people. Like parents pay a lot of money for their kids to play hockey, and I would just wreck all their equipment coming from the back of the ice,
All right, well, there you go, Blind Scott. Thank you, Blind Scott.
Wow, that was surprisingly drama-free. I'm not really sure what happened there.
That's got to suck, though, that you're 27. Well, it sounds like it was coming on very slowly, but you're 27. But Blind Scott seems to get around pretty well. And by the way, he calls himself Blind Scott. I did not make up the name Blind Scott. Blind Scott has been going on far longer than when he didn't call in until Hardy got on the show. He's a big Ben Maller caller.
True.
In fact, if you listen to Overnights, Ben Maller does his show out of L.A. He does Fox Sports, and he has Blind Scott on every single night. So Blind Scott refers to himself as Blind Scott. All right, let's go to Jordan, perhaps. Oh, no, that's the wrong line. Let's go to Jordan. Hello.
What's going on, Toucher?
Hey, what's up?
I just want to talk about the goose story this morning. It made me laugh a lot. Made me think about there's a famous tweet, I don't know, from a few years ago. The tweet is, my friends and I would have killed E.T. with bats, I'll tell you that. And it always makes me think back in the day, when I'm with my friends, you saw a squirrel crossing the road, you throw a rock at it, something.
Oh, well, how
people
dare
are just
you.
too soft nowadays.
Oh, well, that's not the point I was making. And by the way, I will take these phone calls, okay? I don't need anyone else touching the phone.
It's shooting the breeze. Shooting the breeze.
I was just making the point of that people were after the Shrewsbury police because there was some wild-ass goose and they didn't kill it right. They're saying that they should have held on to it until someone could have come to euthanize the goose. And to that, I'm saying that's not their job. And then if it was a person, no one would care. Nicholas answering the phone is a real situation.
I think if they shot a person 3 times on the side of the road, people would care.
Not as much as the goose. Not as much as the goose. If you kick someone in the shin walking next to you that was pushing you and you kicked them in the shin, or if you kicked a turkey that was pecking at you, what would get more attention?
Oh, yeah, if you kick the turkey.
Yeah, if you kick the turkey.
Easily.
That's what I'm saying. Is that a goose, which you could eat, you could go out and have 7,000 gooses for dinner and no one would call into question anything but your gluttony.
It's weird, too, because the turkey is an angry, disgusting animal, and I don't understand why people protect them so much.
I just don't understand that if they're bothering you, you can't shoo them away. Like there's this idea that that they dictate everything that happens. But you could be on the way home from buying 5 turkeys to eat, dead turkeys in the trunk of your car, and that if a live turkey comes walking in front of your car, now you shouldn't be able to go up to them and throw rocks at them and stuff. I'm not saying that. I'm just curious that why they're so overly protected. That's all. All right, Dan. Hello, sir.
I am 40, the exact age you are or were when I started listening to the Sports Hub. So, any quick bullet points of advice to get through to 50, which you are now?
Well, I wouldn't use drinking as a hobby. That didn't work out too well.
Okay.
My advice to you is, do you have male friends?
Not many. I'm right in I got a 2nd grader and a 4th grader. It's just all kids and kids sports and coaching, and it's just,
yes.
I need to find friends.
And that was the situation that I was in, but you were going to get to the point where you were going to need male friends. because
Got it.
now I have not reached that point yet, but I'm getting there. Like my son is going to be a junior in high school. My daughter is going to be a freshman in high school. And, they require a lot right now, but I'm seeing over the horizon that there is going to be a need for not only female companionship, but that's much easier to find, at least for me.
So start building my network now so when the freedom comes.
Right, that you will
I'll
have something to
somebody.
do and you will not feel so terribly alone. That is my advice to you. And
Thanks,
that is
buddy.
actual real advice that I'm giving you, Dan.
What about fathers
Shooting
of
the breeze about philosophy, the Italians, my Uncle Eckley.
Yeah, that's what we're doing, shooting the breeze. Go ahead, Jonathan.
What about fathers of your kids' friends?
My kids' friends, whether it was me or whether it was them, my kids' friends have evolved, And then when they get to be a certain age, like I coached sports with guys, but then kids quit sports, they start playing on different teams, it becomes a racket, and then when you stop coaching, and it becomes this professional situation, I'm still friendly with like the people from back then, but I'm not like really good like they're families. They're not like guys that you're friends with. Like you need real guy friends, which is a skill I believe, at least in my experience, a lot of men don't have, making myself included. Like how to finesse a woman, how to go out on a date, like all these things. There's apps that are made for it, but like making a male friend is very difficult to do. Hardy can do it like there's no tomorrow. Hardy will talk to anybody. I'm really fascinated by it. Like
he does possess that unique skill to have a conversation with anyone at any time, from his mail carrier to his garbage guy to
the biggest
people
story
at the club.
Was Rich Voss. The comedian Rich Voss was up here, and I've had Rich Voss on the show like every other year for Atlanta and here for 20 years. I've had Rich Voss on the show. 25 years I've had Rich Voss on. I never got in his phone number or anything. Rich Voss comes on the show on a Friday, and on Monday, Hardy's like, "Oh yeah, I was playing golf with Voss over the weekend." I'm like, "What?
Yeah.
When the hell did that happen?" Like I was here the whole time. Like Hardy's like, because like someone go, "I play golf," you go, "I play golf too," and then that would be the end of the conversation. With Hardy, he takes it to that extra step. In fact, the guy I brought to the 98.5 The Sports Hub golf tournament. Like I brought a guy for our foursome. He ended up playing with another guy last week that he met at that golf tournament.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Real friend. A male friend. And he's like, "Do you want to play golf with us?" And I'm like, "I don't think so. He was at the station event." I'm like, "I don't know."
That's unique.
Yes.
That's unique. It's
very
also
unique.
A little jealous of that.
It is a skill that I do not like, making male friends.
Yeah.
It's something that I certainly don't have. It's I have no idea how to do it, but I'm going to need it, because even if, say I have a live-in girlfriend or something, when my son gets out of high school and then it's just my daughter who splits time between the two houses, that's still not enough.
Mm-hmm.
You need male friends. And this is something that I have to work on. Gabe, go ahead.
Hey, Fred. I just wanted to thank you, bud.
Mm-hmm.
About 7 years ago, I went to a Red Sox game with my very loud and very Bostonian friend. We sat behind you, and I believe it was Milo. And you actually still have a picture of my very loud and very Bostonian friend on your Instagram. And you told me to stop listening to a certain rock station that I listened to at the time. You told me they sucked and whatnot, and told me listen to 98.5. At that point, I never listened to 98.5. And ever since then, I've listened pretty much every single day, bud. So I just want to say thank you.
Was that when they were playing Cleveland in the playoffs?
The exact game, I don't know.
Okay.
But I do know it was about 2017, and you still have a picture of a selfie of you and my friend on your Instagram.
Now, is your friend in the background, or is it me and your friend?
It's you and my friend, like front and center. I forget what the description is. It's you still got it though. 2017, I believe it is.
Well, Gabe, that's how I've gained this audience, is by going out person by person, one by one.
You can't schmooze guy friends, but you can make guy listeners. That's close.
In fact, I think I should have that expensed every time that I go to a game. That should be expensed because I am bringing in listeners.
Sitting around at a cocktail party, shooting the breeze.
Wow, Maz said that for real. I thought shooting the breeze when I named the segment was the dumbest thing that you could ever say because no one really says it.
Well,
and there it goes.
there you have it.
All right. Dave, go ahead, sir.
So, Fred, I'm seeing this thing on social media where people are shaming and making fun of the guy when he gets off a plane who grabs his bag immediately and tries to get off. But I find that guy way less annoying than the person that just sits in their row taking forever to get off because they know everyone behind them has to wait. So what's your take on that? And the other thing I wanted to say, too, is deboarding a plane should be done aisle seats first, then go by row. And people get off a plane 1,000 times quicker.
Okay, I have not thought of that last part, but in terms of getting up and getting your bag when the plane it stops, I don't – that doesn't affect anyone. What's annoying is when people put their bag behind where they're sitting, and then they have to get up and get their bag from behind. But getting up and getting your bag out, I don't even know why that would frustrate anyone because there's still when you get off, you get off. Like them being up, yeah, I would agree with you. Like when there's like an old lady or something and then she requires help and it's stopping everyone from getting off the plane. My problem now is people getting on the plane. Is that I was on an airline. I was on a flight, that flight to Florida when I went last month, and the flight attendant had to come on and go, all right, everyone, get it together and get on this plane because we have a window where we can take off and you guys are taking forever. Because you understand that I'm in zone 2. So
Yes.
I've been on the plane for a very long time.
Yes.
And some of us zone 2 people are sitting there going and tapping our watches and going, people.
This is Comfort Plus, damn it. What's going on?
Not always. Usually.
Oh,
99% of the time I'll get bumped up to Comfort Plus. But even if I'm flying in coach, economy, you know.
I got it.
Because not economy, but main. Because now they have first Delta Comfort, main, and economy. So I have to book a main ticket in order to get upgraded.
Okay.
It's a whole thing you wouldn't understand. You'll never have to worry about it either. The chances of you getting diamond status are...
I just feel terrible about myself now. This is just awful.
You sound sarcastic, but you should. Mike, go ahead.
Yeah.
Hey, Fred, I just wanted to share a little memory I have. I was driving north in New Hampshire, stopped at the Hookset rest area. I had to use the bathroom, so I take a seat. I look over to my left, and I see a guy's toes touching the tile floor and his heels looking at the ceiling. He was slatering the throne.
Oh, my God.
I heard no sounds. I have no idea what left his body, but they did reach for toilet paper and clean themselves up.
So you saw someone. So slatering is if AC Slater would go to the max, and he would immediately grab a chair and turn it around. That's how he showed he was cool. Is he would and then he would put his so the back of the chair would be on his chest, and so slatering on the toilet when I first heard of it on the air, it made me laugh. One of the hardest I've ever laughed on the air. And you saw a guy doing it. I wonder if it's a truck driver, and at a certain point they've been up for 3 days, doing white crosses. And then they just feel like they have to entertain themselves. Did you say anything to the guy? Did you wait around to see when he came out?
I got out of Dodge fast. I wanted nothing to do with this.
All right. Well, listen, you hit a Haley's Comet-like moment. Everyone loves Riz. Riz, hello, Riz.
Riz!
What's good? What's good? First and foremost, shout out to the Twitch fam. You already know my boy Wallace without his hat looking all good. RJ, shout out to you. My boy Fred, you already know, man. You're the best in the biz, bro. But
thank you, Riz.
Reason why I called, you're welcome. Reason why I called, I know you guys are married. I don't know if it's just me, but there's times where I feel like I'm living with a dolphin. Like, what I mean is, when I get into that shower after my wife, like, I get into that bathroom and I look at the floor. I'm like, yo, what is going on? Like, I didn't know we had a pool in here.
Yeah.
I'm looking for, like, medals. I'm like, yo, where's Mike Phelps at? It's crazy how much water is left on the floor, bro.
Well,
is it just me?
Well, I'll tell you this. Is my son informed me, he's like, you look like you have strong calves, he said to me. And I said, well, that is because I have the legs of a female runway model. If you shaved my legs, these tall, thin legs of mine, a female model, you would think that Jerry Lewis and Hardly Working would have gone crazy for them. But I have the legs of a female model from the runways of Milan. And I said to him, you can do calf raises. And he says, I do 100 calf raises every day in the shower. In the shower. He does 100 calf raises.
Really?
Yeah. So why in the shower?
Told him to do that.
No one told. He on his own decided that when I'm taking a shower, I'm going to do 100 calf raises in the shower.
It's going to use the time.
Yeah. Right? So he's in the shower, and so if you're thinking anything, the guy's just in there doing calf raises.
Okay.
He loves the shower. 2:30 in the morning, I'll hear the shower go on. Don't ask me why.
Got some multitasking.
Because he has the way my house is, there's like a John. You haven't been there, have you?
No.
There's this like and don't get used to that feeling. There's this he has his own bathroom and like living area. It's like almost like a Greg Brady situation when he moved to the attic.
It's where the birds are. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got a bedroom, like a little living area, and he's got quite a little setup. He's got a Fonzie-like setup.
Sounds like it.
Like Fonzie over the garage.
Yeah.
Kirk Cameron in the later years of Growing
impressive.
Pains
Yeah.
over the garage. And but the thing is that when he flushes the toilet or uses the shower, it's not overwhelming, but I can hear it. And it will be like 2:30 in the morning, and because I'm a basket case who can't sleep, I'll hear the whooshing of water.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is he doing at 2:30 in the morning? What that kid needs more than anything, not my daughter. You know what my kid needs? School.
Yes.
School. I don't want to rush time and get him out of the house. It'll be sad when he graduates from high school in 2 years, but what he needs more than anything
to keep him occupied
is his Christopher Margraf, his baseball coach and academic advisor, to take the wheel. If you're listening, Mr. Margraf, I need you to take the wheel almost immediately.
It's only the mid-July. We're not into the end of July
it's
yet.
Not mid-July. It's the end of July.
All
This is by definition the end of July.
Where are we?
But they don't start on Labor Day week. They start the week after Labor Day. And I need his academic advisor and his baseball coaches. They're the same person. He's been a great influence worth all the tuition for this guy. And I need him to take the wheel. I need him to get Milo 10 hours a day because he's there 10 hours a day. I need him 10 hours a day. He gets him.
Only 5 weeks.
When he comes home, very little dealing with having to ask him to do things. Margraf has to ask him to do everything while he's at school. And that, to me, is worth its weight in gold. All right, thank you to everyone who participated. We killed a half an hour. Why'd you go so late, Fred? Because there's nothing else planned.
Because there was breeze to shoot.
And there was breeze to shoot, and there's no clocks when you're on the porch talking to your buddies.
That's a good point.
You understand?
It's shooting the breeze.
Thank
Shooting the breeze.
you. All
Shooting
right,
the
so
breeze.
we will be right back.
More touch.
I can tell them stories about ESPN in the green room, how people make shit up, trades. I can tell them that, like don't believe everything that it says. It's hard because that's what rules the world, right? You get into any social platform, and if you're looking for baseball, then your feed is going to be full of baseball stories. There's a lot of people that are very responsible with their trades, rumors, and their contacts. Others, they're not. So.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. That's Alex Cora. Trade deadline is Thursday, correct? That is when the trade deadline is. The Red Sox, a game I attended yesterday, which sounded like a Dodgers home game. And then, so the Dodgers fans, they were very vocal. They were just cheering the team on and things of that nature. When Freddie Freeman came up, they would chant his name. And there was one guy in our section that was a Boston fan that said, and he might be listening right now, but he said, Ohtani, you gamble or something like that. And he got a mild chuckle. And then he said, Ohtani DraftKings, maybe 75 more times. And which each time it got successively less funny.
Okay.
It was, but he was sticking up. He was the Boston guy in the sea of Dodger fans. So for that, he should be rewarded. But a win yesterday, they took 2 or 3 from the Dodgers. The Dodgers that look incredibly beatable. That lineup that looked unbelievable is now not so unbelievable.
After you get by the top 3.
Well, the top 3 is not so great this year.
Well, Mookie
is not having a good year.
Well, Dave O'Brien reminded me while I was watching a little bit of the game yesterday.
I like how you think he's talking directly to you. That's interesting.
It's how I internalize baseball, Fred. It's all about me.
Okay.
Mookie Betts lost a lot of weight right before the season starts. The season started over in Japan. He had some kind of stomach virus where he lost 10, 15, 20 pounds, something like that.
No, a guy yesterday from the Dodgers, a Dodger fan was talking. He said he lost 35 pounds, and I said Mookie Betts lost 35 pounds. So he weighed 75 pounds.
I know, and obviously
this is a guy who cannot lose 35 pounds and survive.
Right, and that's the thing. He hasn't put it all back on because of the day in, day out rigors of the season. He hasn't been able to put the weight back on, so he's been struggling. He's been the theory is he's been significantly weakened and hasn't gotten his strength back.
For whatever reason, he's not playing overly well. And Teoscar Hernandez isn't having any kind of superstar year either.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I was going to the game, so I put 3 very light bets on things, and none of them happened. But and Freddie Freeman's not hitting for a lot of power. That Dodgers team seems, for the amount of money they've spent, to be entirely beatable. I mean, I don't think they're going to win the World Series. I really don't. I mean, they don't. They're not overly impressive. In the bottom, and if Will Smith's not playing, they're really not impressive.
The thing is, I think the Dodgers are 1 game behind the Mets and Cubs for the best record in the National League.
Yes, and they should.
Yeah.
There was what did they lose, 10 in a row or something at one point this season? I mean, they've had a rough go of it. At least the second half of the season they have. So this Dodgers team. Now, look, I'm not taking anything away from the Red Sox. They got swept by the Astros, and then they got swept by the Brewers. They lost, and then they lost to the Giants. They lost 8 games in a row.
Yeah, they're 3-6 since the All-Star break.
Okay, so they lost 8 games in a row. They beat the Giants twice. Then they lost 3 in a row again to the Brewers.
Mm-hmm.
Then they took 2 or 3 from the Twins and lost 2 or 3 from the Red Sox. So the Dodgers are spiraling a little bit. But nonetheless, it was a good it's a good series win for the Red Sox, making up for some prior disasters. Maybe and they certainly have to buy at the deadline. And
they're a half game up on Seattle. They have the number 2 wild card at the moment. Seattle and Texas are both a half game back.
Certainly. So they should make the playoffs, and they should be able to make some sort of addition. I mean, what would help would be if they had Devers, or they got anything in return for Devers. That would certainly help. But what Cora said is that when he was doing ESPN or whatever the hell, was he doing ESPN?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, that was the network he was on. That they would make up trade deadline stuff. And to that I would say, I'm sure they made up hypothetical trades or said Boston would be interested in blah, 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 without knowing someone in the front office had not told them that, because that's the whole thing. But made up like an actual deal about to go down, I don't think that that's happening.
Here's exactly what you were talking about. I was reading yesterday about the Red Sox and Yandy Diaz. And Yandy Diaz is the first baseman for the Tampa Bay Rays. He's very cheap for this year and for next, whatever. Say, this is a guy the Red Sox should get. ESPN went out of their way to say this is a perfect fit. They did not say that the Red Sox have been in aggressive negotiations with Tampa about Yandy Diaz. They might have checked in on him, but from there, you get the rumor. Red Sox, Yandy Diaz, close.
Right.
That's what Cora's talking about.
And the thing is if you are following a team closely as a fan, it can be very frustrating because national guys obviously don't watch. Football's the worst because with football, it's 24 hours a day. It's not like that with baseball. With football, it's 24 hours a day, and there's so little actual gameplay that when you follow a team and it's obvious, I'll just give you an example, like the Aaron Rodgers stuff. It's scorecard analysis. When people talk about Aaron Rodgers, you didn't watch him. There's no way you watched him last year. You are looking at his final statistics.
Yeah, if you don't cover the Jets or you're not a Jets fan, you didn't sit down and watch every Jet game.
Right. And so, I can tell you, I saw it. Well, you don't understand the game. I understand the game enough to know how the quarterback's playing. I mean, Jesus Christ. You could tell me a left guard. I'll admit, I don't know the left guard, what he's doing, unless he gives up some brutal sack or something. I don't know what the hell is happening. Unless someone blows up a play, I don't know what's going on with the left guard. All of that is, even receivers, they're running the wrong route. Who knows? How the hell do I know? I'm watching it on TV. The quarterback, I can tell you. I can tell what the quarterback's doing, believe me. Well, you don't know if the receiver broke the route out wrong. Okay, fine. I can tell you when the quarterback's not moving, when the quarterback has the inability to move. When he gives up pick sixes to 300-pound defensive linemen, that I can tell you, that wasn't a receiver breaking off the route. That was throwing into a 300-pound guy's chest. But yes, I don't doubt that these hypothetical trade rumors are just that, hypothetical, like John just said. But I don't think they make up that, they talk to people in the front office. And it will be interesting because this weekend tells you who the haves and have-nots are. Because with this third wild card, teams have to be hesitant getting rid of guys. But I think that this weekend freed up some more teams. Certainly the Cardinals will be selling. Go ahead.
The biggest question, obviously, is Jarren Duran, who had himself a real nice game yesterday that you saw. He had a real nice game yesterday. But he's been struggling.
Except when he didn't run.
Yes, except when he didn't run in that first inning, which was embarrassing. If I hadn't seen it 18 times already this season about, laziness or forgetting outs. But Duran is the guy to watch. We had a nice source war over the weekend. I don't know if you saw that. There were rumors that San Diego had spoken to the Red Sox about Duran, and someone else said, well, no, the Red Sox don't want to trade Duran. He's untouchable. So now the question
He's untouchable.
Well,
that's what you want to hear as a fan, is that your surplus outfielder is untouchable. Roman Anthony's untouchable.
We talked about this last week. ESPN had a story last week about how the Red Sox want to keep everybody and not trade their surplus of outfielders.
See, and the argument for keeping them, I heard one show on the station, and I don't know who it was, so I can't remember, but I listen to the station a lot. And Sean McAdam had said, look, they got to get rid of him, Duran. If it's not the trade deadline, it's going to be the offseason because they have these kids and they have to play them, and there has to be, Duran's 29. They can get rid of him. And the show was killing McAdam. Why? It's so bad to have an all-star and the all-star. He made the all-star team one year. We could go through the list of Buddy Biancalanas and stuff that made all-star teams. I mean, we can these untouchables the Tommy Edman that you saw yesterday. I believe Tommy Edman probably was an all-star one year. Farted his way onto an all-star team. And Duran's a good player and would be a big piece for someone. But if you have a surplus outfield, this is what I don't understand. If you have a glut of one thing, and you have something that you can move and not lose a lot because you have people to take those positions, and then you get something that you need in return, why you would keep the extra piece? So if you have something that happens to be something that an asset people want, and that you can move that asset, it's an extra one. to get a bunch of stuff or something that you desperately need, why would you hang on to that? In case someone gets hurt? So your method throughout the last month and a half of the season and the postseason, if you make it, is that in case someone gets hurt, or we can continue to platoon. Stop that. If you can trade Duran for pitching, you do that in 10 seconds.
Just take a look at the Yankees, who just lost, as Ryan has been saying all morning, just lost Aaron Judge. And Judge can't throw for at least 2 weeks, probably longer. I mean, Judge is best hitter on the planet, other than Shohei Ohtani at this point. Yankees are adding. Yankees just added someone yesterday. It was a utility infielder, but the point is,
but John,
the mentality is different.
But John, now the Yankees are going to have to play Stanton in the outfield, which is potentially a disaster. So imagine if they had someone like Jarren Duran that they could turn to.
That's exactly what I want.
Like, this is what the Red Sox will be setting themselves up for.
Perfect.
It's going to be a disaster when somebody gets hurt because Duran won't be there.
Absolutely.
That's exactly right.
You made the great point. Is you got to play scared. That's absolutely what you got to do. I just like that Duran's untouchable. Well, that's what you want to hear. Someone comes at you and they're like, here, we'll give you a second starter. Guy, slide into your rotation, second starter. No, this surplus outfield is untouchable.
It's just amazing.
Like, where are you going to play him next year? You have forget it. Whatever. I just thought it was funny. Mick Adam, who's covered the team forever, is like, yeah, they got to get rid of him. If not during the season, they're going to have to get rid of him in the offseason. It's like the most ludicrous statement ever made.
There should be zero pushback on this.
No, I wouldn't get rid of him for like a bunch of prospects, but I would make, as they call a hockey trade for him. If you could get pitching in return for Jarren Duran, I would do it in 10 seconds. And by the way, if you want Hicks pitching the 8th for you, I got news for you.
Get ready. He's pitching the 9th up until the trade deadline. That's what he is. Aroldis Chapman isn't pitching tonight in Minnesota. It's probably not pitching tomorrow night in Minnesota either.
I was hoping that I would get an email that someone would go, see, Hicks did well yesterday. And I would go, huh? Hicks got his ass saved is what he got.
That line drive happened to be at somebody.
Yes, exactly. And then they happened to double him up.
Yeah, if that wasn't at Rafaela, that's in the outfield in the game's time.
And I believe Freeman was on deck. So if you don't double him up, then Freeman's on with two. I mean, the Red Sox, it was a good win yesterday, but I don't like going game by game, but I happened to be there. They got out of a lot of trouble. Buehler was getting hit, believe me. There was a lot of solid contact on Buehler, but listen, what are you going to do? All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines, presented by Celsius Energy Drink.
If you're not of our generation, or no, I should say Ryan and I's generation, John is much older. But Adam Sandler's first couple comedy albums, there used to be things called comedy albums. And comedians would put them out. And Sandler's it wasn't stand-up, his was like skits. And they were like synonymous, like they became part of the zeitgeist of our generation. Like they were cultural touchstones. So when Sandler came out with Billy Madison, it was so ridiculous that this was actually a movie. And think about it now. That was in theaters about an idiot adult son of a guy who just goes, wah, 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 like the whole time. It seems so dumb, but that was the point. It was like anarchistic. Like it was so crazy that they could do this. And I just remember thinking it was absolutely incredible. And Sandler, by all accounts, is like one of the world's great guys. I liked him on Saturday Night Live. I think he's completely underrated. He got fired from Saturday Night Live, which is ridiculous. He's obviously one of the biggest comedy stars in the history of comedy. But he has, in not recent years, I guess the last 20 years, he's got a deal with Netflix that pays him like $1 billion, probably like $1 billion. And he makes these movies. Now, none of us have probably seen many of these Netflix films, because why would you? And also, I don't like that these comedies are not released in theaters. Like Happy Gilmore 2 could have done well in theaters. I don't know why it had to be a Netflix thing.
For one weekend, anyway. Yes.
Well, but think about it. You saw it and I saw it. Well, whatever they did, they put like influencers in it. And by doing that, like big ones, and by doing that, like my son wanted to watch it. So on Saturday night, this is how crazy my life is. My daughter and I saw Jurassic World. Why? Did you want to see Jurassic World? No. But neither did she. But it was something to do, and it was out of the house, and they have that soda machine. And plus, they serve dinner there. I had to go to the one where they serve dinner because then it's feeding her and also gives us entertainment for 2 hours. And then so when we got home, my son had been out, and he's like, let's watch Happy Gilmore 2. And he never wants to watch TV. He wants to play video games. So I said, wow. I actually thought, how many more times am I going to get this? The three of us on the couch, like watching a movie. And so he puts it on, and it's awful. And it's terrible. But the thing is that he's such a nice guy. You know, the original caddy that he strangles in the first one's like in it, like as a role, like with lines in it. Like everyone that was in it, he is brought back if they're alive, and if they're not alive, he brings in a replacement for them.
You have
who's a celebrity.
Yeah.
Or who's a celebrity, like even to the point where the kid from Grown Ups, one of his sons in Grown Ups, I think it was in Grown Ups, who died. He was in those Disney Descendants things, films. Like there's this, I guess, a very sweet thing where he's on a TV in the background, while things are playing. So like all these are nice gestures, and I'm not saying they're not, but entertainment they do not make. And because my daughter and I bagged out halfway through, which I felt bad about, but I was tired. It was nearing midnight.
I made it all the way through.
It was nearing midnight on a Saturday. So I mean, listen, I'm not made of stone. I mean, a man must sleep.
I got it.
I'd already had my wild day of going to the movies with my daughter. So
sure,
you know, I'm living pretty much like I'm the editor of Vanity Fair, and so but it's. The movies that he puts out now are terrible. First of all, the first Happy Gilmore is not funny. Can we all get on the same page that it's not funny? If you're laughing during that, I don't understand what you're laughing at. He fights Bob Barker, and Bob Barker beats him up.
I thought that was funny.
Like laughing funny?
I don't think laughing out loud to myself, but I thought it was funny. Yes.
First time you see it.
Yeah.
Like, you weren't expecting Bob Barker to be throwing punches in a movie.
Yeah, but once they start fighting, the idea is, okay, now I understand what's happening. They're fighting. Whatever. I didn't think it was...
The price is wrong, bitch.
That was a good line, I thought. Okay.
Happy Gilmore. Look, Billy Madison, Big Daddy's like a sweet film. That's My Boy is a great movie. That's My Boy is exceptionally underrated. But other than that, and believe me, I like Adam Sandler, and I appreciate when I was in college, like his comedy albums were like, and I loved Billy Madison when I first saw it. But I have to tell you, when I saw Happy Gilmore, much like Blood, Sugar, Sex Magic, I had loved the Red Hot Chili Peppers album before that. And then Blood, Sugar, Sex Magic came out, and I was like, I don't like this. And that was the one that hit. Happy Gilmore was the one that hit, and I was looking forward to it, and I was like, this is not so funny. You know what it is? It's because it's about golf.
Okay.
And when you make a movie about golf, immediately every white person on the planet that has a penis flips out.
Well, this Happy Gilmore 2 is for you then. There are more famous golfers in this movie than you could possibly imagine.
It's so boring. Like, I get it. Like, John Daly is like a funny character.
Yes.
They have John Daly as like John Daly, and he's living at the guy's house. And he has a crappy house, and Daly's living in the garage. That's a funny concept. Having like Fred Couples at a table eating too many desserts, and I hate to spoil these gags for you, but having Fred Couples at a table eating too many desserts is just like, wow, there's Fred Couples. And like, it's not like I can't believe you have golfers in the golf movie.
Yeah. Xander Schauffele saying that's what she said about 5 times. That didn't sway you? No?
I get why on paper they thought that might be funny, the redundancy of it, but it didn't translate into the film. And I wasn't.
None of it did.
And I wasn't expecting a lot. And believe me, I wasn't. And again, I don't dislike Adam Sandler. I'm not going, I hate him and this is awful. It's not like a Kelsey's brother situation. And by the way, Travis Kelce's in it. He can act.
Yes,
he
was pretty good. Yes.
No, Travis Kelce, 2 things. He lives with his body hair, which I give him 100% on. And 2, he's not a bad actor at all. He could be a comedic actor. He could be like a John Cena. Now, he can't be a podcast host. But this is in the... Never tell me I'm not fair, because I was like, oh, Kelsey's like a pretty decent comedic actor. But I'll tell you, out of all of the cameos, and there's 700 of them.
Easily.
Kelsey might be the best actor out of all of them. And that, like Bad Bunny's not fantastic. Eminem, who you probably know by now, is in it.
Yeah.
Isn't fantastic.
Yeah, he's the jackass guy's son who just randomly shows up. Bad Bunny wasn't bad.
And by the way, these are repeat gags from the first. And by the way, they do flashbacks to the first movie 1,000 times, which seems completely unnecessary. Because if you're watching Happy Gilmore 2, I don't think you have to get caught up on Happy Gilmore 1.
Yeah.
As a narrative device, going to literal scenes from the first movie doesn't seem necessary.
He just throws so many. I think his actual daughter is his real daughter.
Well, his
daughter in the second movie.
It's very sweet that he jams his family in. I understand all of that, and all of them are fine. It's not like they ruin the movie. It's just it just seems to be an exercise to get as many people and as good a feeling as possible into it. And that does not equate to comedy.
I pulled up the list of celebrity cameos. It's incredibly long.
It's endless. There are 75 people.
And that's kind of the whole point of the movie. And the thing is, well, yeah, he's got $1 billion contract with Netflix. This isn't unbelievable that you got cameos. All right. I mean, Eminem's like I get it. Like, I understand that that's like interesting that he's in the movie, but it doesn't make the movie worth watching. You can watch it on YouTube. All right. We'll be back in just a moment.
98.5, the Sports Hub. Paisley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Alex Bregman's two-run home run in the fifth inning was the game winner as the Red Sox beat the Dodgers Sunday 4-3 to take 2 out of 3 in that series. Aroldis Chapman came on in the eighth inning. Didn't finish the game, though. Left dealing with back spasms. Said afterwards he should be all right. Sox hit the road for a 3-game series against the Twins starting tonight. Richard Fitz will be on the mound. Yankees put Aaron Judge on the 10-day injured list with a flexor strain in his right elbow yesterday. Royals are signing a 2-year contract extension with pitcher Seth Lugo, which would take him off the market before Thursday's trade deadline. After an off day yesterday, Patriots players back for the first padded practice of training camp today. It'll begin around 10:30 outside of Gillette Stadium. Gates will open in a matter of minutes. Commanders receiver Terry McLaurin has arrived at Washington training camp, but still without a new contract. Also owes $200,000 in fines for reporting 4 days late and has been placed on the PUP list with an ankle injury. The Cowboys' Micah Parsons says he's got a back issue, and it's not his contract that is leading to him sitting out the team's first padded practice of training camp yesterday. Headlines are brought to you by the $14.99 big deal meals at the 99, like the crispy fried twin catch with North Atlanta cod and crispy shrimp, available every Monday through Wednesday for just $14.99. You gotta love the nines. I'm Ryan Johnston of Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. We got more headlines in 30 minutes.
New England plays here.
Ball down the right side. There's a separation. Touchdown pass. Yes. Perfect dive from Drake May.
98.5 The Sports Hub. Toucher and Hardy.
Such an fantastic explosion.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
All right, here we go, third take.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. Ryan Johnston is in for Hardy today. And you can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. Bob Sosi is the voice of the New England Patriots on 98.5 The Sports Hub's Patriots Radio Network. He's joining us. It's been a long time, Bob. John just showed me that you've been very busy up in, were you, Maine?
Yes, I did not see Adam 12, but I was, doing what Adam was doing things that Mainers do. So, yeah, up there for a day and a half.
What things do Mainers do?
They go to farms, apparently. Right, Bob?
Yeah, no, they go to farm stands, John.
Sorry.
And they get baked goodies and pay on the honor code. And Maine blueberry pies.
No, you say
outstanding,
goodies.
the best.
Even though you have testicles.
Bright Lane.
All right,
Yeah.
and you just said goodies. So did you get a deal with the farm stand that you plugged on your Instagram?
No, I overpaid.
Okay.
Overpaid. They didn't give me anything.
Because it was the honor system, and you felt that
It was honor system, yeah.
So you felt that since that was an honor system situation that you would overpay.
It's my honor, my privilege, Fred, to pay homage, if you will, to those out there, our local vendors, our local businesses that I think do good work, do good deeds. So I'm just trying to spread the news, spread the good word.
It's like you're giving to charity, Bob. It's absolutely unbelievable. All right, I wanted to play this. All right, so we were talking about how guys just pull stuff out of their asses and throw it up, and I was talking about how the NFL analysts were the worst at it. I want you, Bob, in real time. This is not anything that is threatening or anything. I want you to hear this Dan Orlovsky clip and just react to it. Here we go.
Patriots' first 3 picks. I'm obsessed with them. Will Campbell in the first round, the protection for Drake May on the backside, then Travion Henderson in the second round at running back, and then Kyle Williams. I think Kyle Williams has the chance to be as impactful a rookie receiver that we have in the NFL this year. And if those 3 rookies can be big-time players for the Patriots, there's a chance this organization and team are going to make noise a lot sooner than people expect.
Now, that is a bold statement. That if all 3 of those guys are big stars this year, Bob, the Patriots will be better than if they weren't. And by the way, what a high bar to be the biggest receiver out of this draft class, which was so stock full of big-time receivers. This is not 2 years ago. But that is the kind of analysis that you can only get from people that have to struggle through only talking about football in July.
That's right.
But, I mean, that's ridiculous. Like you don't say, if all three of those guys are huge stars and make a big impact, that the Patriots will be better than if they're not. Ridiculous. But you've been to camp, have you not?
I have been, yes.
Okay, and you can't tell right now, but is there a belief there that that finally there is going to be a rookie class that contributes, unlike the last few years?
I will say this. I think that there is a belief that this rookie class will contribute in ways that we haven't seen a rookie class do in recent years. But the reasons for that are multifold, because I think you look at, one, the talent of this class, but you look at, maybe some draft picks that were spent unwisely the last couple of years. So it's a combination. It's somewhere in between how good this class is at this moment, how good it could become by the end of this season, and really the failure with a couple of picks to produce in those players' cases. You think about last year, the second-round pick, Jalen Polk, who certainly has his work cut out for him just to make the roster this season, especially getting the delayed start that he's gotten. Caden Wallace, third-round pick, who was drafted to be a tackle out of Penn State. And right now he's trying to earn a spot on this team through the interior. Looks like he's not even a consideration right now through a week of training camp to play either tackle spot. So I think there's a combination of reasons why this rookie class is, in my eyes, and as well the perspective of a lot of people who've been down here, a much better class than the past. But I got to say that, you look at Travion Henderson, for example, at running back. He has the athletic goods to be a productive player, I think, especially in Josh McDaniels' offense, assuming that, he gets this offense. And when you look at the third-round pick, Jared Wilson, as a guard/center, he looks like a guy who's really competing for a starting job right now at either position for the Patriots. So it's a long way from where they were last year just with those second- and third-round picks.
Yeah, and if you take the first lineman in the draft, he should start for you. And if you take a running back high in the second round, he should be good. I mean, these are not tremendous asks. Now, look, if you hit with a receiver later in the draft, then that's great. Yeah. But the first two, you took a lineman fourth overall. Yeah, he should be good. And then you took a running back at the top of the second round. That's a position where you can get great players in the second round. That guy should hit. He should produce. I don't think that's asking a ton. Do you? I mean, it's asking a lot for a left tackle kid to come in and be an effective left tackle. But, I mean, he should start for you at some position if you take him fourth overall in the draft. You would agree. That's the expectation.
Yeah, I think there are certain picks, Fred, that are projection picks, and then there are certain picks that are plug-and-play picks. And that's not to say that Will Campbell is going to be a great left tackle right away or even long-term for this team. But when he was drafted, I think, with the expectation, across the board in the organization, and really by those who follow the draft closely, that, okay, he's going to go into New England. He's going to be the starter at tackle. Same thing with Travion Henderson, based on the program that he played at, the production that he had at that level, and just the baseline of skills that he came in with and knowledge in the passing game for a college running back, which really is much better than a lot of guys who come into the league, considering the jump from that level to the NFL. I think the expectation was he was a guy who was going to be able to contribute right away. The projection picks, I think, are where you really get into, the really good scouting. That's not to take away from the scouting that was invested in these players, but I think that's where it really shines through.
What is your feeling about how the defensive line is shaping up right now? I guess ideally, if you're an NFL team, you want one edge guy that's really a game wrecker. I don't think the Patriots necessarily have that. And the comparison I made last week, Bob, was they don't necessarily have a 10 on the defensive line, but they got a bunch of 7s and 8s. Is that fair?
Yeah, John, I think we're going to tell a lot more, obviously, with pads on today and this week and in the joint practices the next couple of weeks when they go against Washington and then Minnesota. But I think the combination of players is what really makes the difference. And, we will find out, for example, with Milton Williams, can he play on the interior more snaps than he did with Philadelphia? Will he be as impactful playing more snaps than he did with the Eagles? Will he be as impactful playing alongside the guy he's up front with now in New England, as opposed to the players that rotated through that defensive line as good and deep as they were with Philadelphia? Can Christian Barmore, playing lighter, be more explosive? And can he overcome the health issues that plagued him last year and stay on the field for this team? Can Keon White become more impactful throughout this season, the way he was in the first two games last year? And I think the performance of those first two guys I mentioned will go a long way in terms of his production out on the edge. And Harold Landry is a solid player on the other side of the defense as well. And I think Anthony Jennings, though not necessarily a pass rusher, is a stable guy for the Patriots. But yeah, they don't have right now, an elite pass rusher per se. But I think as a group, particularly with the way they want to play up front, try to get more vertical, to be more explosive and apply more pressure even from the interior than in the past. I think that as a whole, the sum of these parts is going to be a lot more productive for them than the last couple of seasons.
As you mentioned, you really don't know much until the pads come on, and that doesn't happen until today and through this week. But on paper, looking at the talent on paper, would you characterize this defense as above average, really good, or elite? Which one of those three?
I'd say it has a chance right now to be really good, and there are concerns still. I think depth is certainly a concern. I mean, the cornerback position is Carlton Davis, who's been playing it slow coming back for the Patriots this summer. Being limited right now, not active in practices. His health. I mean, he has had a history of injuries the last couple of years, but when he's on the field, he's a very good cornerback and a very good complement to Christian Gonzalez. I think Marcus Jones at the slot position gives them a good cornerback, but ultimately depth is going to be a factor. And I think there's still concern for me, at least, at safety. The lack of range has been a problem for this team since Devin McCourty retired. And right now, looking at the safety combinations, perhaps with the rookie Woodson to step in there at some point, who they drafted out of Cal. Right now, with Jabril Peppers and Kyle Ducker, you get two guys that are really more box safeties, guys who play like smaller linebackers. So I think coverage could be an issue for them on the back end at safety that they didn't have to worry about when Devin McCourty was back there, preventing a lot of big plays, if not making big plays on a regular basis. And I think a linebacker too. I mean, Robert Spillane certainly is the guy right now who's the leader of that defense in the middle. But will the guys around him, even though it's a league now where the linebackers are less important than they were, they see less reps, I still have some questions there for them. So right now, you give Mike Vrabel and his staff, I think, the benefit of the doubt. They have proven that they can coach up a defense to be very good, but whether it becomes a lead or not, I think there's still a ways to go for that.
I'll just ask you, is there a belief that Kyle Williams, I just heard Orlovsky, going crazy. People like Kyle Williams. He was a third-round pick. What is the belief in him? Like, why should everyone be so excited?
I think the reason why we should be excited here, Fred, is that he does bring speed that the Patriots receivers just haven't had a lot of in recent years, and those who could run fast weren't
exactly right. I was going to bring up Tyquan Thornton if you didn't.
Tyquan Thornton is the only NFL player who has legs like mine, and I made that point.
Yes.
The minute they drafted him, I said...
We both did. We said, this guy is 180 pounds soaking wet. Yeah, he can run like the wind, but he can't get off the line of scrimmage.
And listen...
Fred, your legs are like Earl Campbell's in comparison.
No. They're like Kate Moss's. They are made for the stage. As I said earlier, they are made for the runways of Milan.
No, he was saying in comparison to Tyquan Thornton, they look like Earl Campbell.
Okay, because I didn't want him insulting my legs in that way. They're very feminine.
Beautiful legs.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that, there are reasons to be excited about the potential, but there's still a long way to go. We saw evidence of it last week. He made a catch on a long ball early in the week, but then he had a drop a couple of days ago, and that has been an issue coming out of college, the inconsistency there. I think the ability to get off the line in college was exceptional. Will he be able to do that in the NFL? And right now, when you look at the top guys for the Patriots, based on their rotation into drills last week, he wasn't among the top three. It was Diggs, Douglas, and Booty. And I also think that Kendrick Bourne is probably there in front of him as well, particularly because of his experience in the Josh McDaniels offense and the fact that he played well for McDaniels back in 2021. So Williams, just to see the field for the Patriots, to have the kind of impact that Dan Orlovsky is projecting as a possible, or at least considering as a strong possibility, there's some work to be done on his part. He's got to prove that he can be consistent enough in getting off the line and gaining separation from the point where he really gets into his route, but also being able to finish plays with his hands.
All right, one real quick question. Josh McDaniels' offense is complicated. I don't care how much he say he's dumbed it down from when he was here the last time. It's complicated. How are Drake May and the rookies picking up this offense?
Well, Johnny, it's been interesting because we heard a lot in the spring about simplifying it, making some changes to it. But what we've heard thus far in the summer from a couple of guys who played in it before, Hunter Henry and Kendrick Bourne, is that it's the same offense. So we'll see if it does become a different type of offense, at least with more wrinkles. When we really get into the nitty gritty, when he's actually scheming up game plans and calling plays in the regular season. But for right now, what we're hearing from the players who've been through it before is that it's essentially the same offense. And I think Drake May, among the most positive signs thus far, he looked very comfortable and confident for the most part last week operating the offense. I thought a lot of strides were made for him during those 5 weeks between OTAs and even going back to the last two practices we saw in minicamp compared to the early spring in terms of his comfort level with the offense. So that's a positive sign for the Pats. But now we're going to get into, again, padded practices where there's pressure applied, and maybe the coverages are going to change as they get more competitive in these practices, and the defenses try to, cross him up from not only his teammates, but when they get into those joints with Washington and Minnesota. We'll see how he adjusts given everything that's on his plate. And it was interesting to hear somebody who hasn't been in this offense before in Garrett Bradbury talk about that fact as the new center for this team, just how much a quarterback has to do in setting protections in this offense with Josh McDaniels compared to the West Coast offense that Drake was in a year ago.
All right, well, Bob Sosi, he's all refreshed. He was up in Maine. I was
up in Maine eating blueberry pie.
Getting pie and honey from the farmers, the modest farmers up there, as they depend on Bob's business to survive. Bob is there. Well, Bob, we look forward to talking to you throughout the season. Thanks so much for joining us today.
My pleasure, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
There you go. The great Bob Sosi. When we come back, our award-winning email segment on the way.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Hello, everyone. All right, hello. We are Toucher and Hardy. Hardy is not here today. Ryan Johnston is here. If you'd like to email the show and any one of us, go to 985thesportshub.com. Let's not get into a whole thing of giving out email addresses. If you would like to follow us on social media, at Toucher and Hardy on Twitter and on Instagram, and at Fred Toucher on Instagram, which can only be described as a tour de force. And if you follow 98.5 The Sports Hub on Instagram, you could win a car.
Wow.
That's all I'm saying. We were giving away a car. Were you aware of that?
I was aware of it. I'm not sure how the contest is working, but I was aware that we are giving away a car.
It's an Instagram and air thing. It's a whole thing, but it's a car.
Okay.
And tomorrow, are you aware that Everyday Maggie from Instagram will be in studio right before Maddie?
I heard. Talk about a tour de force.
It will be a cavalcade of stars joining us tomorrow.
It's the Letterman show all of a sudden.
It really is. It's like a Harmony
Who's the
Korine
musical
Letterman
guest?
show.
Who do we have as the musical guest?
The guy who owns the Knicks is coming out.
James Dolan.
James Dolan.
JD in the straight shot.
Anthony says, Orlovsky, I think based on these comments of the Patriots rookies, perhaps Mr. Orlovsky was the true author of the Sullivan's Castle Island review. If you don't recall, when the digital strategy for Beasley Media was that everyone throw up a bunch of articles that could be about anything, there was a very in-depth review of Sullivan's Castle Island, to which they say, the French fries are unbelievable. You have to have them with vinegar. Or don't. They're great either way, is what it said. There you go. Someone has been... very, very busy. It's Sarah from Everett.
Oh, good.
And I was talking about how my cat had gone to crapped all over this one room of my house and then crapped in the bathroom. And even though I had done remarkable things with her litter, and I was talking about how I'd never take the Fluff, who lived to be 21, to the vet. You know that Sarah from Everett walks dogs. You'll recall when she was in studio, she brought several dogs with her.
Yes.
She says, one of the few things I agree with you on, Fred, there is a cat shot required by the state of Mass that has a 45% cancer rate, if whatever this website is. Her cat is 20, loves Meow Mix because I fed my cat, Alley Cat, food for many, many years, and never goes to the vet. I've mentioned before your dog is probably the reason behind your cat crapping out of the box, or your cat is sick and trying to let you know by not going in the box. I don't think the cat is sick. I don't think the cat likes the dog. And I don't know what to do about that. I've given the cat many, many areas of the home where she is free to roam.
Perhaps the cat needs to talk to a therapist or something.
Oh, are you referring to the pet psychic? Have you?
No, I'm talking about an actual therapist.
Okay, because I was at a Thanksgiving dinner one time when a relative of my ex-wife sat down at the table and said that she had 3 cats and one was missing, and that she had hired a pet psychic to find the missing cat. And that, indeed, the pet psychic could talk to the 2 cats that were in the house, but the one that was missing could not be spoken to because it was not in the vicinity necessarily of the pet psychic, to which my mother replied, oh, well, that makes sense.
And then you made the mistake of saying something after that.
I didn't say anything. It was my face.
I'm sorry. Made a face after that, and the evening went downhill.
My face probably just was what my emotion was, which was disgust.
Are you effing kidding me? Look, is what that was.
Yeah, and then it did not fly at the table. Brett says Hardy has got to be a little sad and bothered, as this person was. Brett says he was sad and bothered, much like Hardy must have been. I think he thinks Hardy is here. That they killed off Julie Bowen's character in the first 5 minutes of Happy Gilmore 2.
Ruin everything for everybody.
Thought we'd like to get to see her more. Sorry to ruin it if you hadn't seen it yet. Well, again, these spoilers of Happy Gilmore 2 have got to stop. Because unless you're going in there completely blind, I don't know how you can enjoy the in-depth humor and the shock value of what is Happy Gilmore 2.
She is killed by a wayward tee shot.
Right well, you didn't have to get so specific. Now this guy.
Now I've completely ruined it. You were talking.
Now I'm not going to watch it.
I know. That was a big threat. You were talking about how the Dodgers fans took over Fenway Park, and it was odd. I would say that was probably the biggest opposing team takeover in the last how many years? I mean, even when Yankee fans come to the ballpark, it's 20-80 or 30-70. It was almost half and half over the weekend.
Yeah, there was a tremendous amount of Dodger fans that were there, and yeah, we got an email from a guy who said that he works at a. Oh, here he goes. Sean says, I bartended on Boylston at Dillon's by Fenway. Dodger fans did a very good job of taking over the city. He was impressed. He says, Met fans travel well. Like you said, Toronto and St. Louis and Kansas City last year were surprising to me. It's one of those things, though, I'm always surprised how many visiting fans make it to Boston. Then I remember how Fenway is viewed by national media, and Boston has a lot of great history. Living here 365 days a year makes you forget how beautiful this crappy city can be. I understand why they come. It's just a very long way to come to see a baseball game.
You have all the places you could come from to watch a game and still take over. It's quite impressive. You were talking about the Delta lounges and how the lounge is full. The regular lounge is full, and they're going to build a different lounge for the real high rolling people such as yourself. Is that accurate? I'm making sure I have the story accurate.
To my understanding is, yes, there will be a lounge within the lounge or some kind of even harder to get to lounge, yes.
A big beefy guy at the door to make sure only so many people get by the velvet
I can't
ropes.
speak to the security that will be there,
Yeah.
John, but suffice it, you will not enter.
I have two people who have gotten in contact with me for email today saying, make sure Fred knows about the Amex Centurion Lounge, whatever that is.
Yes, those are garbage lounges that they tried. Amex tried to make lounges that weren't Delta because of all the extra. And Centurion lounges are basically golden corrals that you need an American Express card to get into.
I know,
and I'm not being snobby. They're awful. Like they're not.
What makes them so terrible?
That they're terrible areas that are dirty and crappy, and that there's nothing to eat. They have like a bag of chips. It's really you're better off sitting by the gate. Like I'm not. That is. It's not a hard assessment. I mean, it is what it is. Those are terrible. You'd be better off just getting food and eating it at the place where you got the food. You want to hear I'm going to read this exactly how it's written. I said Adam Sandler has made a lot of movies from Netflix that are not good.
Okay.
Douglas says, this is exactly how it's written, because it's written like, remember 60 Minutes? Or who was the guy with the old man with the talk show on CNN? Larry King, how he would write the column for USA Today with ... thoughts.
Yeah.
Says how Adam Sandler has made so many. I'm reading this exactly how it's written. How Adam Sandler has made so many mediocre movies and has an audience, and Fred Toucher, the self-absorbed mediocre DJ, still is on the air. ... Uncut Gems is a tremendous movie. Yeah, unfortunately, Adam Sandler didn't make that. He starred in it.
That's true.
Yeah, Adam Sandler didn't make that, you idiot. Well, you think Adam Sandler, that was from the mind of Adam Sandler? See, actors can be in movies that they did not write and produce. Adam said that was those two brothers made that movie. Unfortunately, Fred, you have no achievement that echoes that. He is right. I have not had the achievements of Adam Sandler. ... He's, Hese, are mysteries that puzzle the mind. ... Have a nice day. ... Douglas, you are an illiterate. You are an illiterate. That's what I'm writing back, because I have no patience for him. Do you have something, Jonathan?
Yeah, there's one email here saying, guys, thank you so much for spoiling Happy Gilmore 2. You've saved me the trouble of not watching it. Thank God that you guys went through this, because I was actually thinking about watching it later today. Now I can spend my time more efficiently. And I think, honestly, looking back on it, that was a great public service. There's no reason to watch the movie.
Unless you just love cameos by people. Like that, if you love golf, you're going to be highly, highly enthused by it, because everyone that is probably in this room has a acquaintance that's obsessed with golf. And every analogy they make and every joke they make, somehow they feel is very either profound or hysterical just by the golf reference involved. And I've been in rooms where guys have told some golf joke, like it's like hooking it in the woods, and everyone starts erupting in laughter. And I'm thinking, this isn't even remotely funny. They just like that golf's involved. So Happy Gilmore is the iconic film it is because it is about golf. And Happy Gilmore 2, if you want to like wet yourself because Fred Couples is in it as is every other old golfer and current golfer and every golfer, anyone who's picked up a golf club.
Honest to God, we're not lying. There are maybe 18 pro golfers that have lines in this movie.
And if it amazes you that a film that was made by a guy who's got like $1 billion deal with Netflix could somehow corral those people, if it was a porn or, like a public access show that trotted out 18 professional golfers, I'd be excited. But it's like when Austin Powers, which are great movies, but when the beginning of Austin Powers, everyone lost their mind because there was that Tom Cruise as Austin Powers.
That was the third one.
Yeah. And then, the Goop Lady as the
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Paltrow. And I'm like, the first two of these movies grossed like $500 million. Like, of course, like, wow, they got movie stars in a hit movie. This
Then it
is
became
unbelievable.
Incredibly self-indulgent. That wasn't what Sandler was doing, but the end result was the same.
No, I think Sandler's a good guy who got a bunch of friends and family into a movie, and it's very sweet that he did that, but it doesn't add up to being. And look, what does he care? The money, he got the money
He's
anyway.
getting the money either way.
Yeah, so like it's actually admirable that he's like, screw it, I'll just make this stuff and be with my friends and kind of screw around.
Well, that's like the Grown-Ups movies.
Right.
It's just like, I'm going to write this just so me and my friends can hang out together on a movie set.
And I definitely think there's a vibe of like, I don't want to do anything that makes my family uncomfortable. And like, I just, and something that he writes and produces.
Yeah.
Now, Uncut Gems is different because, again, he did not write or produce that. This is a Adam Sandler production, Happy Gilmore 2. Uncut Gems is by other people. Again, Robert De Niro did not write Godfather 2. He was tapped to star in it.
Yes.
He was playing a character. Nah. That's what acting is. You effing idiot.
Playing characters, like Mr. Amos.
All right, so we will be back, and we will bring this ship into the port. And as we prepare for Everyday Maggie and Maddie in the morning that will be on the show tomorrow, we need our sleep. All right, here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox took 2 out of 3 over the Dodgers at Fenway over the weekend, including a 4-3.
This is the show for you. Toucher and Hardy, the Sports Hub.
We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
All right, so we are Toucher and Hardy. Jonathan, what have we not got into today?
Well, where would we be, Fred, without Skip Bayless's opinion on the sport of golf? We were talking about golf and about Happy Gilmore, too. Scotty Scheffler plays a big role in that movie.
If you say so.
Yes, he does. You bagged out before it really got interesting.
He probably was on it, and I had no idea who the hell it was. They all had this. The whole thing is they all have gold jackets on. So, like, I got, Jack Nicklaus.
Yeah.
And Fred Couples.
Sure. You have
Lee Trevino
right.
didn't have a lot of lines, but he was certainly old.
He was in the first one, so you kind of recognize him.
I would have guessed Lee Trevino had passed away about 5 years ago.
Well, he looks like he's almost there.
Yeah, he's not
any better.
So you couldn't he could have been a puppet. I don't know.
So Skip Bayless felt on Friday he had to weigh in on Scotty Scheffler, who said before the last major, which he won, that golf might not necessarily be the most important thing in his life.
Okay, you probably saw these quotes last week. I certainly did. They shocked me maybe more than they did any other sports fan, especially golf fans. These quotes shook me up the most.
Can you pause this? Because the gravitas.
Why does he take everything so seriously?
Because he's got to, for some reason, his brand is to do this. Everything has got to be treated with a certain amount of gravitas.
Shaken to his core by Scotty Scheffler's comments last week.
I mean, did you, I don't know if you heard this on the show, but he reviewed the movie Sinners, the horror movie with a black cast that's set in the Wild West, and he said that it left him shaken to his core with white guilt.
Yes.
Because up till that point, he was unaware that blacks in America had been treated poorly.
Bludgeoned and battered by white guilt.
Yes, he was saying he literally saw Sinners, and he was like, wait a sec. This is a guy, by the way, he was like 70. He like lived through like Selma riots and stuff. He's like, wait a second. These black people got kind of a raw deal.
Fred,
my soul aches.
You don't hear about all that stuff when you're holed up in a hotel room in Bristol. Like, ordering Chinese food once a week.
So Skip Bayless of what Ryan has done the show before. What Skip Bayless did is there was a piece on him, and when he was at ESPN, he would get a hotel room, and at the beginning on a Sunday, he would get 5 orders of chicken and broccoli from a Chinese restaurant, and in a monastic, I believe is the term, lifestyle, would have that as a meal because his show prep all consumed him. The 60 to 90 minutes of television he had to do debating sports a day was so all-encompassing to him, and he's such a moron, that it required 23 hours of work for him to be able to come up with that black people were mistreated in this country, or have been mistreated, and currently probably are. All right, continue with what he's saying.
All right.
Because I do believe in God.
That was the only part. He said God was directing him for this answer, and he goes on to say, quote,
Whoa. I'm sorry. I interrupted it. I need to hear this whole thing.
Let's go back
He's
to the
bringing
beginning.
God into it?
Yes, he is. Let's hear it from the beginning.
Okay, you probably saw these quotes last week. I certainly did. They shocked me maybe more than they did any other sports fan, especially golf fans. These quotes shook me up the most because I do believe in God.
All right, so he was affected by these more than anyone that heard them because he believes in God.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one. Okay, very good.
And he goes on to say, quote, Scotty Scheffler, that's what God has led or called you to do, not to focus on your wife and infant son before you're 30. Golf is just too hard. The line is just too fine between dominating and missing cuts.
God wants you to ignore your family
That's
so
correct.
you can be a better golfer.
That is Skip Bayless's point right there.
Wait, so Scotty Scheffler said golf is the most important thing in his life.
No, he said exactly the opposite.
Oh, he said it's not.
He said,
It's
like,
not,
basically,
yes.
I go out and win these tournaments. Like, it gives me 2 minutes of joy, but then I get to go home with my family and be a regular person.
I have to find motivation to win these tournaments.
Like, what's the point of all this?
Yes.
It's I've got a family.
Okay, and then Bayless is saying that's fantastic. I don't understand Bayless's point.
It's wrong. He should eschew the wife and child.
God is calling you to play golf and ignore your family. That is what Skip Bayless's point is.
So his understanding of spirituality and the meaning of life and our existence as humans is if you're good at golf, it is your responsibility.
Much like
play golf.
Much like Skip Bayless has been called by the heavens to debate people like Shannon Sharp for a living, Scotty Scheffler should be focusing entirely on his golf.
Well, the Buddha sat under the tree for many, many days trying to find enlightenment. And when he finally did, he said, pursue one's profession. And he said, I foresee things thousands of years in the future where you will be hitting a small ball with a stick. And this, my friends, will be the most important thing. Because I do believe in God. Skip Bayless is a strange individual.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that wife of his is doing him no favors either. When she said, if you recall, Skip Bayless on his show he does from his couch with his, I'm not lying, from his couch.
Right.
With his wife, they said, who would be like the lady that your wife would let you bang? And he said Marie Osmond.
Hall pass.
And then when he went to her and said, who would it be? She goes, well, I already banged them all.
Essentially, yeah.
And she wasn't being cute and saucy. She was like, for everyone's notice, like, I've already had sex with them. Like, I was a buyer for Macy's in Manhattan.
Yep.
So, like, I got every penis I wanted. You understand? That as a buyer for the Macy's chain.
Yeah.
That I was thrust into this glitz and glamour, and I was having sex with everyone.
You could take your limited list of 5 and stick it.
All right, there you go. All right. Well, thank you, Ryan, as
good
you
to see
have
you.
lowered yourself to do
to
this
see you.
show, as you are the voice of the Boston Bruins, and you have lowered yourself again and put yourself in a position to undermine your credibility at every turn. But that will do it for us.
Big show tomorrow. Huge, man.
Maddie is on the show tomorrow. We are giving away a car just like it was 10 years ago. I mean, we actually have a big prize to give away. It's almost inconceivable. But we will be back tomorrow. Thank you again, Ryan. That'll do it for us. Bye.